It is a football Friday night. This is high school football Alabama after the game. Jon Holder with you on a football Friday night. It is the first Friday night of the high school football season. Brought to you tonight by the Calhoun County Commission. We are going to be with you all the way until 12 midnight tonight, broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and at our website, highschoolfootballalabama.com. We have got special guests in the studio coming, highlights of 8 games from across East Alabama, and a whole lot more. Team of the week, we're going to make that announcement close to midnight tonight as we'll have our first Team of the Week announcement. We have got so much high school football news and information. We're going to blow you away tonight. I promise you on that on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. Right now, it's time to go to our Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard as we're going to give you scores. A lot of these games are running behind tonight, and because of that, we're going to be looking at basically we've got a lot of scores that are going to be coming in late tonight. So let's go through all the scores right now as we have them. White Plains and Ranburne tonight, and that is going to be that game was 7-7. That game taking place at White Plains tonight. White Plains 7 and Ranburne 7. I'm trying to see the scores here. Not getting those on my monitor, but we'll try to get. Hopefully, you're seeing those scores there. Weaver and Donahoe. Weaver leading Donahoe 22-17 is the score there. That is not a final as of yet. McAdory leading Oxford again. Not a final score. 28-13 is the final score. Is the score in that game in the fourth quarter. 28-13. Anniston and Welborn, this is a game running way behind, mainly not because of the weather, but because of scoring tonight. Walter Welborn was losing to Anniston. Anniston had 45-18 is the score in that game. This is a final score. Sachs taking on Ohatchee. Sachs leading Ohatchee by a score of 41-15. I can see the scores now, so we're in good shape. Also tonight, Jacksonville and Boaz playing each other at Golden Eagle Stadium in Jacksonville. Only the third meeting of the Golden Eagles and Pirates. Jacksonville wins the game 27-7. They jumped out to a 13-0 lead and kind of coasted from there tonight at Jacksonville. Jacksonville Christian Academy playing in Montgomery tonight against Success Unlimited. They lost this game big time last year up in Jacksonville. Jacksonville goes, JCA, the Thunder, goes down and wins this game in Montgomery tonight by a score of 34-0. And folks, that was in a half. Jacksonville Christian in one half of play, then the weather came, and they decided just to call the game. Jacksonville was a long way away, so JCA wins over Success Unlimited 34-0 tonight in Montgomery. Another game that was affected directly by the weather tonight, so much so that they're going to play tomorrow at 4 o'clock Central Time, Cleburne County at Mount Zion, Georgia. Cleburne County and Mount Zion, they will play 4 o'clock tomorrow over at Mount Zion in Carroll County, Georgia. That will be that game. Victory Christian and Woodland playing tonight. That game in Pell City at Victory Christian. No final in on that game as of yet. Hanley and Valley playing in Roanoke tonight. Their first meeting in 17 years. Number 2 in Class 4A, Hanley taking on the Valley Rams. So it should have a final on that one. This will be the maybe upset of the night down in New Site tonight. Horseshoe Bend and Wadley, the battle of Highway 22. Wadley came in as the number 2 team in the state in Class 1A, or I should say a top 10 team in Class 1A, and Wadley loses tonight. They were the state runner-up last year in Class 1A, made it all the way to the Super 7, but Horseshoe Bend knocks out Wadley tonight, 14-6 the final score down at New Site. Sylacauga and Ben Russell still looking for a final score on that game tonight from Legion Stadium in Sylacauga. Dadeville and B.B. Comer playing just down the road in Dadeville. We'll have a final score on that one. That one was moved from Thursday night to Friday night. Childersburg and Munford, still no final score on that game. Munford was leading in that game early. Should have a final score on that game coming. Cedar Bluff and Winterboro playing at Cedar Bluff tonight. Cedar Bluff leads that game 22-14 in the second half. Cedar Bluff, a team that, they are coached by Alan Beckett. Alan Beckett, former head coach at Winterboro just 3 years ago. Now the head coach at Cedar Bluff playing his old team tonight. And Cedar Bluff leads Winterboro 22-14. That is in the fourth quarter. Lincoln and Talladega playing tonight in Lincoln at Keith Howell Memorial Stadium. Lincoln leading in the second half of that game 27-0. Still looking for a final on that one. Tarrant and Talladega County Central playing tonight over in Metro Birmingham at Tarrant. Still looking for a final on that one. One of the surprise teams this year in Class 5A, the Moody Blue Devils. Pell City had never lost to Moody until tonight, and at Pete Rich Alumni Stadium in Pell City, Moody wins the game impressively. This is a team to watch in Class 5A football as Moody beats Pell City tonight. 55-21 is the final score. That game just went final from down at Pell City. Last night, we will have highlights of this game coming up here on After the Game. Etowah beating Springville, number 9 team in 4A, the Etowah Blue Devils, an impressive win, 35-0 as they beat the Springville Tigers last night at Jim Glover Field in Attala. And so we will be looking at highlights of that game a little bit later on. Also last night over in St. Clair County, Asheville wins over St. Clair County. That's a big rival game. They played at Ken Logan Stadium last night. Had a lot of tributes to the military as part of that, kind of wore an olive green uniform did Asheville. They hang on to win against rival St. Clair County 26-21. Vincent and Raglan. This bit of an upset tonight at Vincent if it holds up. In the fourth quarter, Vincent was leading Raglan 27-20. Still looking for a final score on that game from down in Shelby County. An impressive win by the Spring Garden Panthers, number 2 team in Class 1A in the preseason, dropping down from Class 2A to Class 1A. Spring Garden beat Sandrock last night 40-8. Cherokee County, this is a final. They led it 14-0 at halftime, and Cherokee County rolling. They go over to Rome, Georgia, and they beat Model Georgia tonight. The first meeting ever between the Blue Devils and the Warriors. Cherokee County wins it 20-0. Galesville and West End. Last time they met was in 1979, playing tonight at Galesville. Still looking for a final on that one. The Gaston Bulldogs looking to be much improved in 2022. This is not a final yet, but Gaston was leading Asbury 42-20. Asbury beat Gaston last year 33-8, and now Gaston trying to turn it around as they lead the Rams 42-20 in the second half over at Shinbone Ridge. Number 7 in Class 5A, Guntersville, comes into Southside, and they beat the Southside Crimson Panthers tonight. This game just went final. Guntersville 21, Southside 7, the final score from Southside tonight. Westbrook Christian playing against St. John Paul II up in Huntsville tonight. Still looking for a final score in that game in Metro Huntsville. Last night, another game that you'll see highlights from right here on After the Game. Geraldine, very impressive. They led this game 33-0 at halftime. Put it on cruise control in the second half. They beat Coosa Christian 36-7 was the final in that game. And we will have the head coach of the Coosa Christian Conquerors, Mark O'Brien, will join us live right here on After the Game. This is not a final, but Carrollton, Georgia is leading Gadsden City, folks, 63-0. 63-0 in the fourth quarter over at Titan Stadium. First meeting of 2 powerhouse teams from Georgia and Alabama. But Carrollton, Georgia, the Trojans coming in and having their way with the Titans tonight, 63-0 late in that game. Sardis and DAR playing at the Lions Den at Sardis. Sardis breaking in new coach Chris Stevenson tonight. He had a successful debut as they beat DAR 16-14. Some games from around the state, and there were a ton of top 10 matchups around the state of Alabama, both last night and tonight. Over in West Alabama, number 7 in 2A, Aliceville taking on number 7 in 1A, Pickens County at Aliceville. Still looking for a final on that one. Unique matchup here. These two schools in Blount County only 8 miles apart. Number 8 Aniana in 4A taking on number 10 in 2A, Cleveland. These were the state runner-up in their respective classifications last year. Aniana, the 4A runner-up, Cleveland, the 2A runner-up. They met tonight at Dixon Stadium in Cleveland with Aniana winning the game very impressively, 47-14. Andalusia, a team to watch, number 3 in Class 4A after dropping from 5A where they were a 5A semifinalist last year. Andalusia roaring over Opp tonight, last night, 35-7 down at Andalusia. Montgomery Academy and St. James. These two teams swapped classifications. St. James was the 4A last year. Montgomery Academy was the 3A, the team that Piedmont beat in the state championship game. They swapped classifications. Montgomery Academy moving up to 4A, St. James dropping to 3A, and they're both number 6 in their respective classes. St. James wins the game tonight over Montgomery Academy, 42-14, the final score from down in Montgomery. Ramsey and Hueytown playing over in western Jefferson County. Ramsey number 3 in Class 5A and Hueytown number 5 in 6A. They were the runner-up last year in 5A. This is not a final, but Ramsey was leading Hueytown 21-0. This is a final. We don't have this for you yet, but Clay Chalkville defending state champion in 6A, the number one team in Class 6A. Clay Chalkville blasting Briarwood Christian tonight in a top 4 matchup in Class 6A out at Clay. Clay Chalkville, this is a final 48-0. 48-0 was the final score in that game. Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa, and Pike Road playing tonight. Pike Road, your defending Class 5A champion, moving up to 6A. They're battling in Tuscaloosa tonight. Also, Fairhope and Spanish Fort. They were playing each other tonight down in Fairhope, still looking for a final score in that game. Also, St. James and James Clemens, I should say, and Gardendale playing tonight up in Madison City Stadium at James Clemens. James Clemens and Gardendale still looking for a final on that one. This will be a shocker. I think it was 38-7 was actually the final score. But Buford, Georgia, the number one team in 7A in Georgia, beating the number one and 3-time defending state champion in 7A in Alabama, Thompson out of Alabaster. They played in the Corky Kell Classic tonight over in Georgia, and number one Buford had their way with Thompson. A shocking score here. Not that Buford won the game, but they beat Thompson 38-7 in a game that kicked off at 4 o'clock Central Time over in the state of Georgia. Central Phoenix City and Hewitt Trussville, a top 5 matchup in Class 7A. This is not a final yet, but Central Phoenix City playing at Garrett Stadium, 23-7. Central Phoenix City leading Hewitt Trussville in the fourth quarter of that game down at Phoenix City. And Auburn and Hoover, this is now a final. Auburn has beaten Hoover by a score of 17-14. That is the final in that game. And by the way, Auburn and Hoover are playing in the Kickoff Classic, the AHSA Kickoff Classic in Auburn at Crampton Bowl. The AHSA Radio Network's Tommy Wood called that game tonight, and we will join up with him via Skype live from the Crampton Bowl to give us all the details on that Auburn and Hoover game. Ton of ways to watch high school football Alabama's after the game this year. As always, here are a couple of ways to do that. One, go to our website, highschoolfootballalabama.com. That's a great way to do it. Also, go to our Facebook page, High School Football Alabama, and you can go to YouTube at High School Football Alabama. You want to subscribe to that on YouTube. You want to share that and like that. Do us a favor for that on Facebook, and check out a lot of the content. We've had other content as well, old shows, things like that you can watch at highschoolfootballalabama.com. Something new this year to High School Football Alabama. There it is. 2 new things. One, our High School Football Alabama, the magazine, is out right now, and you don't have to go find one. You don't have to go to a store and find one, because you can look at it right now. You can go to highschoolfootballalabama.com. That's the best way to go. Right there on the home page, you will see an icon that says the magazine. Click on the magazine, and digital only this year. You'll be able to read all 80 pages plus of this magazine. You see the region alignments, previews of 40 high school football teams, and of course, you'll also have our top 10 and Super 7 picks, week-by-week schedules, over 40 team schedules. I mean, it is going to be packed with all kinds of information. We are pleased to bring you this year the High School Football Alabama After the Game show presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Calhoun County Commission, they are fantastic supporters of our local sports here in Alabama, our local schools and communities, as well as our county commission in Calhoun County does a great job of supporting local sports in Calhoun County. They're doing everything they can to support our local schools as well. And our county commissioners, there's 5 of those representing 5 different districts in Calhoun County. Lee Patterson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Fred Wilson as well, and of course J.D. Hess. All those folks doing a great job with the Calhoun County Commission, bringing you High School Football Alabama's After the Game. Time now for our first extra point of the night. We're bringing back the extra points presented by Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden. There are 4 new football playing schools this year in the AHSAA. Class 1A Holy Spirit Catholic of Tuscaloosa returns to football in 2022 after a 2-year absence in 2020 and 2021. New schools to the AHSAA this year include Class 1A University Charter School of Livingston, also a new nickname. They're the Trailblazers. Class 2A Tuscaloosa Academy of Tuscaloosa and Class 2A Pike Liberal Arts of Troy. The Patriots, though, will be ineligible for the state playoffs in 2022. Our After the Game extra point presented by our friends at Team 1 Chevrolet in Gadsden. More of High School Football Alabama After the Game as we roll on Facebook and YouTube on a Football Friday night.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit Debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options. Plus, a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule. So where did she find all that?
Right here at RMC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Jon Holder back with you on a football Friday night on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission on this football Friday night. I am not alone this year, ladies and gentlemen. Last year we were here and I was kind of running the thing solo, but if you've been on social media this summer, you know that we are bringing on not one but two key members of our High School Football Alabama After the Game. So we're pleased to welcome at this time head coach Michael Short and also the one and only Gerhard Mathangani. Guys, welcome to After the Game.
It is good to be here. It's been months and months of planning, and we've finally got us all here.
Yep, and it's been a long summer, and it's football season, guys, and this weather. But what kind of weather we've had tonight?
Yeah, we've had some weather tonight. Let me tell you, we're going to break down one of the things we're going to do and why these two guys are here for a multitude of reasons. We're going to bring you in-depth breakdowns of every region every Friday night, kind of game by game and team by team. And we want to do that, though, with video. We're going to do that with video. We're going to do that still with region rundown. We're still going to give you scores throughout the night. But we're going to kind of break it down region by region. And we're going to begin tonight, guys, in Class 4A, Region 6. That is the region that is kind of the north. We got a north-south here in East Alabama. And we began last night. One of those teams got off to an early start, and that was the Etowah Blue Devils playing at home at Jim Glover Field in Attala. We were there. I was there last night covering that game with our crew, and they played Springville. Kind of got off to a slow start for both teams, but guys, Etowah scored about 42 seconds before halftime to make it 14-0. And in the second half, after we had left, to be honest with you, Etowah blew it open, and they beat what I thought was a pretty good Springville team by a score of 35-0 last night. Gerhard, you got the highlights of that game from Jim Glover Field in Attala.
Yeah, I was able to tag team along with you yesterday and going to that game and being able to watch Etowah. This is a game that I think a lot of people were really excited about to see what Etowah looked like with a new head coach. And that head coach had a special tie to this specific game, and we'll let you know why in these highlights over to Jim Glover Field. we go. As Etowah hosting their season opener against Springville, not only the first game for new head coach Matt Glover, but it's also his alma mater, guys. It's where he went to school, where he coached. He's got a lot of friends on the other side, and got a lot of people in the community out there really loving him, cheering on the Tigers as well. Great first game to start. Springville's first drive was a long one, highlighted by a run just like this one. Stephen Morrison gave him 15 yards and a first down, but it's 16 plays, guys, and it ends in a missed field goal. So no go for the Tigers. Skip ahead to the second quarter. Tigers back on offense, facing 3rd and 2. Big play here. You want to see big plays on 3rd down, and Ja'Shawn Patrick gave you one right there with the sack. Springville forced to punt, ensuing Etowah possession. Quarterback Trace Thompson hits Briggs Freeman. Freeman breaks a few tackles and muscles his way. That's a 10-yard gain and a first down for the Blue Devils. Later in the drive, same connection. Thompson to Freeman on the screen. Another tough run, another first down. Give him 15 yards on that play. A few plays later, it's Thompson connecting with Marion Finch, better known as Fat Finch, so we'll call him Fat from here on out for the rest of the season. Collects 13 yards down to the 6. Next play, Thompson does it himself. Guys, he threw it for 3 times. He was like, you know what, I'm going to take it in myself. For the final score, to end the drive, that ended the drive. It put the first points on the board for Etowah, but it really started the run. And as you mentioned, John, they ended up scoring late again there in the second quarter to take a 14-0 lead to halftime. Blew it away there in the second half as Etowah gets that win, 35-0, as you said. And a nice win for Coach Glover over his alma mater in game number 1.
Absolutely. I was impressed by Etowah last night. To be honest with you, we saw them, all 3 of us saw them up at Spring Garden in the Jamboree. And they got handled pretty good by Hanley, who has a great team. But I was really impressed with the way that Etowah came back, because they look like really kind of a different team last night, guys.
Well, you always say you make your most improvement from game 1 to game 2. And even though it was a Jamboree, it was against a very good Hanley team. So they had a lot to look forward to. But, Coach, the thing, a lot of people are texting me like crazy on my phone here. The reason I'm holding my phone is because, the fat guy, I already got here fat here, is every coach in the region is going to start sending me stats. Awesome. And it kind of give us an idea of some of the stats along with scores in your highlights. So Coach Glover sent me his stats, and Trace, the quarterback, was 14 of 22 for 216-yard passing yards last night with 2 touchdowns, and he also rushed for a touchdown. So he had all-purpose yards of 221 yards last night. And then Briggs, he had 4 catches for 38 yards. He also had 10 rushes for 75 yards, so then he had 113 all-purpose. And then Fat, we know Fat. Fat had 6 catches for 96 yards and 1 touchdown. He had 3 rushes for 5 yards, so 101 all-purpose yards. So what I'm seeing right there already is you've got 3 guys that are catching the ball, and they get a lot of yards after catches. You can see that looking on film. But when you get 3 guys that have got over 100 yards, all-purpose yards, running and throwing and receiving, then you know you've found something there that they can do. And we saw last week that they may not be real big up front, but they're real quick. And they're Coach Glover's going to do a job of getting the ball out in the flats and getting it to those playmakers and letting them make plays and yards after catches.
And Springville had a big offensive line, probably averaged 250 pounds, something like that. Let's look at some other scores from teams in our region, our part of the state, that are a part of that Class 4A Region 6 there. We saw the score last night with Etowah being Springville 35-0. But there were a couple of other games. That was Asheville last night. They're in that region. They beat St. Clair County 26-21. And then tonight, Cherokee County, a team that I'm high on. If you go to our magazine, I've got them picked to go to the Super 7 coming out of the north. Cherokee County tonight went on the road to Rome, Georgia. They beat Model Georgia 20-0, shutting them out. Cherokee County's got 7 starters back, I think, on offense, 8 on defense for Coach Jacob Kelly. So as we take a look now, going to Class 4A Region 6, as we go to our region rundown and we take a look at the region rundown. Here's that region, guys. You got Asheville, Cherokee County, Etowah, Fultondale. We don't have a score on them tonight, but Good Hope won tonight. Hansville lost. Aniana won tonight over Cleveland very impressively. But I think this is going to be a more balanced region this year, guys.
I certainly think so as well. And we saw, and you talked about Etowah, they're dangerous on the outside. We saw with Springville early on that they have a big offensive line, but Etowah was able to, I guess, mitigate that, so to speak. So, Etowah will be able to handle size even though they're not the biggest team in the region. John, you mentioned the great job that Cherokee County has done over the last couple of years, and you're really high on them this year. And one thing kind of off the field, have y'all seen Asheville's jerseys, what they wore yesterday? I mean, it was really spectacular. But to your larger point, John, I think this will be balanced. It will be hard to get one of those 4 playoff spots.
Yeah, and for looking at Asheville real quickly, I have stats from them.
Nice.
Coach Monroe sent me a lot of stats. What we have last night is Asheville. If you're going to be good, you got to win those games you're supposed to win. And then somewhere during the season, you got to beat somebody that you're not supposed to beat.
Right,
you got to do that. So Asheville, with their 26-21 win last night, they had a kicker, and he's gone to all the camps this year. He actually was a kicker of the week at the Clemson camp this year. He did the whole Coles kicking camp thing.
Right.
But his name is Grayson Simpson. He had a 48-yard field goal last night. It broke a school record that was set in 1985 of 46 yards. And he had one punt for 58 yards, and he averaged 54 yards a punt.
Yeah.
That means this guy can kick. And then on defense, he had 7 tackles. So that was real big. And then, offensively, their fullback, Travis Smith, he had 126 yards on 31 carries and 1 touchdown. Their other running back, Eli Reeves, had 6 carries for 64 yards. And then Jalen Williams had 13 carries for 68 yards. Coach Jay Monroe said, I needed to say this. They had 56 total plays in the game, and they were all runs.
running plays.
Not one pass, and he said, #make football great again.
But that's another thing. We just talked about that with Etowah. It's a coach that plays to his strengths, and Coach Shea Monroe plays to his strengths, and what a weapon that kicker is. In tight ball games, you're going to need a guy that can go out there and probably give you a 40-plus yard long field goal, and he did so last night.
Well, he flipped the field. I mean, if he can kick a punt 58 yards and he averages 56, you're flipping the field every time. You can play any kind of defense at all, and if you can hit 50-yard field goals, I mean, that's a weapon. That is a good weapon to have to get into the playoffs.
I think that region is going to be very, very good, especially involving our region teams from our area that are involved in that region. And that, of course, includes Asheville and Cherokee County and the Etowah Blue Devils. Will be a fun region to watch. Hey, we're excited this year because Ted's Carpet and Floor is joining up with us here on High School Football Alabama after the game, and they are going to be bringing you our Team of the Week. Again, the Anniston Orthopedics score shirts will be a part of that. Look at this Awards to Remember Team of the Week trophy. We're bringing the tough guy back, but I'm telling you, this is a great-looking trophy. This trophy is double the size it was last year. It's twice as heavy. Look at that plate there. Got the football in the grass. We're going to give that along with a score shirt. About 12 midnight tonight, we are going to announce our first Ted's Team of the Week. We'll find out who gets the Tough Guy Trophy, and we're also going to find out who is going to get the score shirts from Anniston Orthopedics. And by the way, Ted's Carpet and Floor, I can tell you this, guys, they worked for me this summer. Personally, They worked for Coach Short as well this summer. So we're going to give you some personal testimony here. They are phenomenal. They have only first quality products, lifetime workmanship warranty, easy financing plans, free estimates, zero financing for 12 months. You can go to their website. They have they're going to change that out in a couple of weeks. We'll give you that new website here in a couple of weeks. But they have everything that you need for flooring, whether it be hardwood floors, whether it be tile, whether it be carpet. They did a great job with my house. I had some challenges there, guys, and they answered those challenges and did a great job. So if you're looking for carpet and flooring anywhere in East Alabama, Ted's Carpet and Floor is the place to be, and they are bringing you this year's after the game Team of the Week and our Anniston Orthopedics score shirts and the Tough Guy Trophy. When we come back, we're going to have more scores, highlights, and the head coach of the Coosa Christian Conquerors, Mark O'Brien. He fed us last night. We'll talk about that and more as we roll on a football Friday night on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
We are back on high school football, Alabama. After the game, Jon Holder with you, Coach Michael Short, Gerhard Mathangani on a Football Friday night as we broadcast live for you worldwide on YouTube, also at highschoolfootballalabama.com and on Facebook at High School Football Alabama, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We're going to go down to Class 1A, talk some 1A Region 7 football. One of the teams expected to have a big year in that region is the Coosa Christian Conquerors, and we've got the head coach of the Conquerors coming in with us, Coach Mark O'Brien. Coach, welcome in. Glad to have you with us tonight.
Glad to be here, Mr. John.
I know things didn't go well for you last night. You played a really good football team, playing up 2 classes in Class 3A with the Geraldine Bulldogs coming to your place. They win the game 36-7, but yeah, that's going to be one of the best football teams you're going to play all year.
It will. Them and, of course, Gatlinburg Pittman. That's probably the best team on the schedule. But we tend to schedule up and on all of our non-region stuff just to prep us for the region schedule. So score's not really important to us as being competitive and just seeing what our gut, what kind of guts we've got.
Coach, let's talk about the game last night. You had some positive there. One of the things that I take away from the game, being there last night, Gerhard and I were there, your kicker. I mean, that guy could be playing just for about anybody. Tell us about the kicker, and then go from that and tell us about some other guys on your team this year.
Yeah, so Jaden Burns, he's a junior, and he's a really, really good kicker. I think he finished second in that Clemson camp, actually, behind the kid from Asheville. He won. I think the one in University of North Alabama. He's a really, really good kicker. And then, of course, John Mostella, who had a big night last night for us. He ran the ball very, very well. I was very, very happy to see him. And we had we're still a very young team, but we're competitive, and that's really what we're looking at. Just get better every week.
You mentioned Mostel. We're going to go to the highlights of this game now. Gerhard's going to take us through the highlights, and we're going to see in this game, Mostel in the second half broke off a 75-yard touchdown run. Gerhard, you got some highlights of that game from out at Coosa last night.
That's exactly right. Well, we were all out there, and we were able to see both teams. Obviously, Geraldine playing up in classification, as you mentioned earlier. Really big football team, and you knew that going in, and you like to play up there. Over at Philip Ellen Stadium over there, right off of Black Creek Parkway, over there in Etowah County. This is a great play by Mostella, who we just talked about seconds ago, an 11-yard run. Well, that would bring up fourth down, and Coach, you went to him again. Nice run here, 6 yards, picks up that first down, but the drive does stall there. Coming right back, Geraldine River Walling, 15 yards, a nice little run here on the outside there by Walling. We expect him to have a nice season this year for Geraldine. And then a little bit later, we talked about kickers earlier. You got a great one, and it looks like Geraldine has a pretty solid one as well. Moses Garcia boots one 38 yards. That field goal is good. 36-0 your score there. But then you go right back to Mostella, coach, and you can probably see right here in these highlights, you just give it to him on the outside. He's got the power on the inside, but he can also run it outside as well. 75-yard touchdown run right here. Gives Coosa Christian its first touchdown of the 2022 season. Kicker makes the extra point as well, 36-7. And then how about Cleet O'Brien? That name sounds really familiar. Comes up with the fumble recovery right here after a great play defensively by your Conquerors. And then a good job here by the Geraldine defense, holding you guys out of the end zone, the run stuff there. A really tough team. And as you saw, what a good class, good sportsmanship there at the end. And Coach, I know that you know that this Geraldine team is really solid. They showed it last night.
Yeah, we knew that going in. Again, you know, it wasn't. I've said this a million times. I'd rather lose to a really good team than beat a really bad team.
Right.
Every day. And this just gets us to the path that we're trying to get to our region schedule. That's the only thing that matters to me is that region schedule.
Exactly. Be one of those 4 teams that makes it into the postseason. Coosa Christian. As you see right there, got the 7 points. A nice run by Mostella. You bragged on your kickers earlier, deservedly so. Your kicker earlier, deservedly so. And I think this is your team is set up, I think, to have a really strong year. And you have other playmakers as well outside of Mostella.
Yeah, we do. We're just, we're learning as we go. We're probably starting 9th and 10th graders.
Wow.
So we're still really young. Mm-hmm. We just got to keep, putting the pedal down and getting these guys more and more experience, and we'll get better. As the season goes on, we'll get better and better and better.
Absolutely. And from Coach, I know from your perspective, playing up in classification, it is really difficult, but something like Coach said, it gets you ready for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
There's that fine line that you have to play there when you're playing up sometimes. You want those kids to experience playing those bigger teams to help you to your region, but you got to get to the region. That's right. So what are some of the things that you're doing to keep those kids? I mean, they got to stay confident. They got to stay positive. And you seem like that type of guy anyway. So what are some of the things you're doing to keep those guys confident? Even though we just played one game, they're still young kids, and just give me an idea of what some of the things you're doing to get them to keep them there.
Yeah, we're not going to let them feel sorry for themselves. That's just unacceptable. Not everybody gets a trophy. I've always learned, even going in the SEAL teams, I never learned anything through success. I learned everything through failure. All right, and so that's just kind of the deal that we try to bring through is, hey, I want to give these guys as much adversity as possible. We teach them in the weight room. We teach them. We hold them accountable for everything they do. And so, if you just keep reinforcing that, never backing off, the kids, they're strong, they're overcome. We need to quit being, so gentle. That doesn't work. It does not work. And they'll survive. Most of these kids are survivors. And that's just our forte, and that's how we're going to do it.
Coach, let's talk about the region there a little bit. This is the point of this segment here. We're going to talk about the region you're in. As we saw in the Red Threads highlights, you had a big crowd out there, had a big crowd for Geraldine. Your team had a big crowd as well. If you get into region play here, we take a look at Class 1A Region 7. We'll look at some final scores from that region tonight. But kind of give us your assessment of this region right here. Cedar Bluff, I believe they won tonight over Winterboro. Appalachian took a tough loss last night. Your team in there, Decatur Heritage, a lot of folks talking about them. Galesville was really good last year. And then the team that everybody seems to be talking about, Coach, in your region is Valley Head. Kind of your assessment of what you know about this region.
Yeah, I think if I was going to point it, and by the way, Decatur Heritage lost. They lost tonight to section. But if I was gonna ping it, I would say Valley Head 1, Decatur Heritage 2, Cedar Bluff 3, and then whoever 4. And so our goal is try to host a playoff game. That is our goal. It would be big for our school. And then, of course, our goal would also be win a playoff game, which the school's never done. And it's a competitive region. It's pretty balanced. But we just got to worry about us and not worry about it's a faceless opponent to us.
I think we got some of the final scores from that region tonight. as we take a look at some of the region finals from Class 1A Region 7. So we're still looking for the Cedar Bluff score, I think they were winning, but we'll throw some of these scores up here from Class 1A Region 7 tonight and look at some of those final scores. Galesville playing West End tonight, but Galesville don't have a final on that game. They were playing for the first time in 1979. We've got a final score coming. They tell us that we're about to put in there between West End and Galesville, 63-22. They're telling me. Let's see who won that game. They're telling me home on it's coming. So this is live television, and folks, we're going to try to give you the score in there. 63-26. West End beats Galesville tonight. A little bit of a surprise up there in Cherokee County as West End comes in and beats Galesville 63-26. That was one of the finals in that region. Other final scores from Class 1A Region 7 tonight. As we take a look at some of those, I think we've got those that we're going to show up to you. If we can get those, we don't have anything else, we'll bring it back here to us. Coach, let me just tell you about last night. Thank you for feeding our team last night. You told me, hey, when your crew comes over here, we're going to feed you. And then I go over there, and we walk through there, and there are chicken fingers, chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs, macaroni and cheese, green beans. Thank you. And you do that every Friday night when you have a home game, right?
So we, and it's really important to me is to feed all of the opposing players and the coaching staff and guests. I just think it's a gesture of kindness, and I think it's very important for always to offer a gesture of kindness to your fellow man. And so whoever we play, they always get fed. Awesome. And that's the way it's going to be as long as I'm the ball coach over there.
Well, Coach, thank you for coming over here and joining us live on the set. We appreciate you being here with us tonight on After the Game here on High School Football Alabama. Appreciate the meal from last night. Best wishes to you and your football team throughout the season. Would love to see Coosa Christian get that first ever playoff win in school history.
And I'm going to start covering your games if we're
going
like that.
Okay. Very good.
You're welcome anytime.
I'll tell you what, this one little anecdote. I try to weigh myself every morning. This morning, no kidding, about 4 pounds heavier than I was the day before after last night's meal.
I was 1.2 pounds heavier this morning after that big meal last night at about 10:15. Yeah. One of the things we're bringing back this year is we're going to have our Assistant Coach of the Week presented by Johnson's Giant Food. And let me tell you about Johnson's, what they're doing this year. If you are selected as our Assistant Coach of the Week, you're going to get a $25 gift card from Johnson's. And you're thinking, boy, that's going to be a great thing. And it is, because let me tell you what Johnson's is going to do. They are going to, you can go and spend that anywhere in Johnson's if you want to have a tailgate. They've got all kinds of things going on. They've got the deli out there, which is phenomenal. They've got chicken fingers, fried chicken, kind of like Coosa Christian set up there. They've got all kinds of salads, breads, chips, dips. They've got the freshest, best meats around for all of your tailgating cookout. And so coaches out there, if you're selected as our Assistant Coach of the Week, we'll name our first one next week. You will be getting a $25 gift card from Johnson's Giant Food. 5 locations, 2 in Gadsden, East Gadsden, downtown, in Attala, in Coldwater, and in Jacksonville. Johnson's Giant Food bringing you our Assistant Coach of the Week. As we roll on After the Game, there are the Walter Welborn High School cheerleaders. They are here, and you're going to see them next on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I could instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
We are Wellburn. 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 Here we go, Lakers! That's number 1. Here we go, Lakers! Let's go, Lakers!
The Walter Wellborn High School cheerleaders. You'll hear some more from them a little bit later on in this segment. They're going to hang out with us here for a little bit longer, but we appreciate the Walter Wellborn cheerleaders coming in from the Hill. They did a great job tonight on the Hill, getting all the Wellborn fans pumped up for that Anniston game. That didn't go the way the Wellborn folks wanted, but we appreciate the cheerleaders coming and be with us live here on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, the coach, Michael Short, Gerhard Mathangani with you on this Football Friday night. It is wild tonight here at our studios here, Parker Memorial Baptist Church. We are here tonight, and we have got the RMC Media Center, and we got all kind of stuff going on tonight on After the Game. One of the things we want to do is we want to go through all the final scores. A lot of the final scores coming in. We want to go back to our scoreboard presented by Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware, give you all the final scores. White Plains tonight was a winner. This was a hard-fought game. This was 7-7 for a long time, but White Plains wins it 14-7 over Ranburne. As Coach Chandler Tyree gets the win after a loss last year at Ranburne. At Robertson Field tonight, White Plains gets the win 14-7. An incredible game out at Weaver tonight. Weaver was ahead in this game 22-3 at one point. Donahoe comes back and the Falcons win the game 31-28 is the final. We are scheduled to be joined by the head coach of the Weaver Bearcats, Coach Gary Atchley, to come in and talk about that game tonight. But Donahoe with the comeback win for the ages as they win over Weaver 31-28 tonight out at Bill Bryan Stadium. It was McAdory beating Oxford, an impressive win by McAdory as they come in and they lead from start to finish in this game. McAdory a winner over Oxford tonight, 34-21. We'll have highlights of both that Weaver game and the Oxford game coming up here on After the Game. Also, Wellborn and Anniston tonight. There's the final number 10 team in the state in Class 4A. Anniston goes into the Hill at Walter Wellborn. They started the scoring early and often in this game. There were 3 touchdowns scored in the first 3 minutes of the game. Actually, 4 touchdowns scored in the first 3 minutes of the game. Anniston beating Walter Wellborn 52-18 was the final score tonight from the Hill at Wellborn. I was at that game. We'll have highlights coming. Sachs beat Ohatchee tonight 41-15. We'll have highlights of that game coming from Jack Stewart Field as Sachs jumped out to a nice lead at the half, 21-7, and coasted to a 41-15 win. Jacksonville beat Boaz tonight, 27-7. We will have highlights of that game coming from Golden Eagle Stadium in Jacksonville. Also, JCA tonight winning on the road in Montgomery. They beat Success Unlimited in 8-man football, 34-0. Mount Zion, Georgia, and Cleburne County. Weather did this game in over in Carroll County, Georgia tonight. They will play tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock Central Time. That's 4 o'clock Alabama time, 5 o'clock Georgia time or Eastern time at Mount Zion, Georgia. Victory Christian and Woodland still looking for a final score on that game from Victory. Handley and Valley tonight playing down at Roanoke. Number 2 Handley in Class 4A beating the Valley Rams, who dropped from 6A to 5A this year. This was a great football game down at right field. Handley won the game 22-20 over the Valley Rams. A good start now for Coach Larry Strain and his team. Upset tonight, Wadley, state runner-up last year in Class 2A, or I should say Class 1A, and they lose tonight to their rival Horseshoe Bend in New Site, 14-6, the final score in that upset. Sylacauga and Ben Russell. Sylacauga had not beaten Ben Russell since 1989, and they did not do it tonight at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga. Ben Russell wins the game over the Aggies, 41-7, the final score. Dadeville and BB Comer still looking for a final. That was switched from last night to tonight, playing at Tiger Stadium in Dadeville tonight. Childersburg and Munford. Munford wins the game 28-14 on the road at John Cox Stadium in Childersburg in that Talladega County rival game. Still looking for a final on Cedar Bluff and Winterboro in the fourth. Cedar Bluff was leading Winterboro. That's Alan Beckett going against his old team. Cedar Bluff winning 22-14 in the fourth quarter of that game. Lincoln all over Talladega. This was 27-0 at halftime, and Lincoln doubled it. Not a good debut for new Talladega head coach Bill Smith. Lincoln Golden Bears have been hearing a lot about them. Lincoln beats Talladega tonight 54-0, the final from Keith Howard Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Tarrant and Talladega County Central playing in Birmingham tonight at Tarrant. Still looking for a final in that game. The Moody Blue Devils, this is the team to watch. Pell City had never lost to Moody until tonight. Moody goes into Pete Rich Alumni Stadium in Pell City. They beat the Panthers 55-21, the final. Etowah, as you saw last night, beating Springville 35-0. Also last night, it was Asheville over St. Clair County 26-21. Vincent and Raglan tonight. Vincent with a bit of an upset tonight down in Shelby County. They knock off one of the highly regarded teams in Class 1A, Raglan, 41-26. Spring Garden last night beat Sandrock. Very impressive win by the Panthers. Number 2 team in Class 1A, beating Sandrock 40-8. Cherokee County tonight, as we said, winning against Model Georgia on the road in Rome, Georgia. That was 20-0 as Cherokee County starts off at 1-0. Galesville and West End, you saw the final just earlier as we popped that on the screen for you. West End beating Galesville tonight at Galesville 63-26, their first meeting since 1979. Gaston was leading Asbury late in the game 42-20, but that is not a final score. But Gaston was in control, trying to go to 1-0 for Coach Matt Harris over there. Gunnersville tonight rolls into Southside. They beat the Panthers tonight 21-7, the final. Westbrook Christian playing on the road in Huntsville against St. John Paul II. We're still looking for a final score on that game. As you saw from last night, Geraldine beats Coosa Christian 36-7. Carrollton, Georgia tonight. What an impressive performance by Carrollton as they go in and they beat Gadsden City. This is the worst loss in Gadsden City history by far, as Carrollton goes in and beats Gadsden City 69-7 at Titan Stadium in Gadsden tonight. Sardis, a winner over DAR 16-14 at the Lions Den in Sardis. Also tonight's games around the state, Aliceville, number 7 in 2A, beating the number 7 team in 1A, and their big rival from across county in Pickens County. Aliceville over Pickens County 55-12. Aniana, the runner-up in 4A last year, beating Cleveland, the runner-up in 2A from a year ago. Those two schools 8 miles apart in Blount County. Aniana wins it 47-14. Last night, Andalusia beats Opp 35-7. Tonight, St. James over Montgomery Academy 42-14 was the final. Ramsey and Hueytown playing in Birmingham, no final yet. Ramsey was leading in that game 21-0. This was one of the surprises, not that Clay Chalkville won, the defending state champion with the longest winning streak in the state, but the way they did it. Clay Chalkville beating number 4 Briarwood Christian tonight 48-0. Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa, and Pike Road. Pike Road, the defending 5A champions, moving up to 6A. They lose at Hillcrest tonight 28-21. Fairhope and Spanish Fort playing on the Gulf Coast tonight. Number 7 in 7A Fairhope beating number 8 in 6A Spanish Fort 34-28. A good game tonight at Fairhope. James Clemens and Gardendale. Gardendale goes on the road to Madison City Stadium. They beat the Jets tonight 41-34. As we told you earlier this afternoon, number 1 in 7A in Georgia, Buford beating number 1 and 3-time defending state champion in Alabama in 7A, Thompson 38-7. Also tonight, Central Phoenix City in Hewitt, Trussville. Central wins the game 37-21 down at Garrett Stadium in Phoenix City tonight. That was a top 5 matchup in Class 7A. And also in Class 7A, we also had another top 5 matchup in the Kickoff Classic tonight. And that Kickoff Classic final was Auburn, and they were a winner over Hoover, and that was by a score of 17-14 tonight from the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. Guys, just maybe some impressions about some of the final scores that have now come rolling in tonight.
Gaston City just not getting beat by that much, but obviously they have Carrollton, Georgia as the one of the top quarterbacks, not just in Georgia, but in America coming in. And that offense doing really well. Really surprised by them yesterday. A great game between Saxon-Ohatchee, a great one there. So some surprises here in week 1. But I think week 2, Coach, you mentioned it when Coach O'Brien was on, you make your biggest jumps from week 1 to week 2. That's where I think we'll see a lot more surprises.
You do. And the thing about, don't take the Carrollton score, because Carrollton, the thing that Gaston City is working their way to where they want to go. And Carrollton's been there and done that. I mean, they've won championships before, so their kids have been there. They've been to big venues and played. They've played in the Georgia Dome and all those things, Mercedes-Benz Dome. But one score that surprised me tonight, because I know that they had to really scramble to get them another quarterback, was Gunnersville. I mean, they lost their quarterback that transferred during the summer somewhere else, and to be able to go back and find another quarterback and then come in and win conventionally like they did, that to me that was a surprise. So maybe Gunnersville may be a team to look out for in the future.
Yeah. Next man up mentality, and backup quarterback came in and got the job done.
Yeah, it may even be the quarterback they take may have now fit the mentality of their team.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't know if he was a thrower or a runner. I don't know that, but whatever he was, they did it right. And the coaching staff, you have to give them credit for really coming on and finding another quarterback and just, like I said, plug and play. Let's go.
100%.
Earlier, we had Coach Mark O'Brien from Coosa Christian earlier in our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. Appreciate the folks at Noble Bank. And before we turn it back over to the Wellborn cheerleaders one more time for some more from them, let me just tell you about Noble Bank and Trust, a great sponsor of High School Football Alabama's After the Game. And they have cash back. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back, unlimited nationwide transactions, fraud protection, refunds on ATM withdrawals. If you like that, go to noblebank.com. Learn more about the Noble Bank cash account. Noble Bank and Trust, noblebank.com, member FDIC. Bringing you our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser, where we have all our special guests in. Speaking of special guests tonight here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission, a great Calhoun County school and their cheerleaders. Here's the Walter Wellborn High School Panther cheerleaders to take us to break on High School Football Alabama After the Game.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit Debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Jon Holder back with you on the Football Friday night on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. We are coming to you live from the RMC Media Center here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church in Midtown Anniston on Quintard Avenue. And we're going back to our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Got a special treat for you. I don't know exactly where we're going right now, but we're going down to Montgomery area. We've got Tommy Wood. Tommy is the play-by-play voice of the AHSAA radio network. He called both of the kickoff classic games, last night's game between Helena and Chelsea, and tonight's big top 5 matchup at the Crampton Bowl in Class 7A between Auburn and Hoover. So here we go. This is live television around the state. We're going to go live via Skype to Tommy Wood standing by. Tommy, let me just begin with you. Where are you right now, Tommy?
Man, I am at a car lot on the side of the road near we. I was trying to find enough lights to where we could do this, but yeah, there was a car lot that had a few. So I'm not going to show their picture. We'll have to send them a sponsorship bill. But I wanted to make sure I got on because I mean it's such a cool thing to get to be on your show and stuff. So yeah, I'm on the side of the road, man.
They kicked him out of the Crampton Bowl. The game was over. They wanted to turn, is that right, Tommy? They wanted to turn the lights out, and they said, we don't care if you're going to be on after the game or not. You got to get out. Is that right?
They were not worried about it. They pulled the blinds. They got the trash, and they kept coming. About done. So I'm assuming it was time for me to go. So I just kind of hit the road, and I thought, well, we'll try to make something work before the night's over.
Tommy, it sounds like you had a great game tonight. This was a top 5 matchup in Class 7A between perennial powers Hoover and Auburn. Great matchup, and Auburn wins the game 17-14. Sounds like you had a great game tonight down at the Crampton Bowl.
You know, Auburn came out and looked really strong in the first half, built a 14-0 lead, had all the momentum in the world. They were playing well on both sides of the football. When they came out in the second half, it was a really weird thing. They seemed out of sync from the very opening kick. As soon as they came out, they had to call a timeout before they ran their first offensive play. They burned a timeout there. Offense could not get in sync, backed them up. Then Hoover blocks a punt for a touchdown. And Hoover relied on the running game tonight. This is something very unusual. I bet they used several different formations. They went to a wildcat package using a linebacker as a running back in the first half. Seemed to be searching throughout the first half, but in the second half, their guys up front really were challenged, and they came out and started blocking extremely well. They were able to get back in it tied at 14, and then a 36-yard field goal with about 2 minutes and 19 seconds left by Towns Magoo. That's the name of the Auburn kicker. He drills it from 36 yards out, and they get a 17-14 win. It was a big win for Auburn.
Tommy, I know a lot of folks here in our part of the state in East Alabama, they're interested in Auburn High School. They keep up with them because of Keith Etheridge, the head coach, former coach at Oxford, led them to a state championship just 3 years ago. And also, he's got a great lineman down there, a 4-star lineman who was at Oxford for a lot of years and actually went to Faith Christian School here in Anniston in his elementary school years, and that's Braden Joyner, who's already committed to play for the Auburn Tigers. I'm assuming Braden had a great job on the offensive line. He's played some defense last year for Coach Etheridge, but I think in college he's going to be an offensive lineman. Where did he play tonight? Offense, defense, or maybe a little of both?
Well, left tackle pretty much the entire night, and several times there were one of those where I remember covering Clay Webb in high school where you saw the offensive lineman take the defensive lineman down the field and just kind of pancake them. Braden had several of those tonight. And then on the last drive, after Auburn had gone up 17-14, you look out there on the defensive line, Braden Joyner's out there playing defense on that drive too. So he had a couple of quarterback hurries, and that really helped out the Auburn defense to seal that win.
Tommy Wood from the car lot somewhere in Metro Montgomery. As he's heading back to Clay County for home tonight, we're going to delay him just a little bit. A couple of more things, Tommy. I am assuming that you've watched a lot of football, and so you know what state championship contenders look like. I'm going to assume that both Hoover and Auburn are probably state championship contenders once again in Class 7A, right?
Yeah, I really feel good about Auburn. I really think that though the game with Central Phoenix City, which I know they're a powerhouse as well, that would be so much fun to watch. But Auburn has a lot of talent. They really shuttle in the quarterbacks. Each series, there's a different one. And, one of them being Brian Harson's son, Davis Harson, playing some quarterback. They've got two good quarterbacks. They've got a very strong offensive front. But they look really good. I still think Hoover's going to be searching for a little bit. They really had to try to find a way to get some offense tonight. I asked the question earlier, when's the last time you heard of a Hoover team that only passed for 82 yards in the game? They've got to find a way to throw the football around a little bit because offensively they really couldn't get as much going on in the running game as early as they wanted to, and that's going to be a big key. But I really feel good about Auburn. Again, taking on Central Phoenix City is going to be a war, but, yeah, they look really good.
And also Wade Waldrop, first-year head coach at Hoover, only the third head coach in, 22 years at Hoover. So trying to kind of put his stamp on the program down there. Tommy, you were there last night as well at the Crampton Bowl because they had a doubleheader in the AHSA Kickoff Classic. So you had a game last night between Helena and Chelsea, a couple of Shelby County schools playing in Montgomery. Tell us your insight on that game last night.
I think Helena is going to be very good again. They've got a good offensive front. And you look in the trenches, they had a lot of size down there. I think that that was the difference last night. Chelsea, they are going to have a tough time in 7A just for the lack of size. Their offensive front was not big at all, and that's where Helena really dominated the game. I look for Chelsea in 7A to have it's going to be a challenging year for them. But I think Helena, I can see them running, getting a couple rounds in the playoffs, maybe third round or so. They look really good.
Tommy, thank you so much. We're going to talk. You and I are going to talk about this for a long time.
Hey, I've got plenty.
A Skype interview from a car lot in Montgomery.
Hey, I'll do what I got to do for you, man. Just again, I'm just thrilled to death with the show that you're going to put together, and I'm excited about it and get a chance to watch it. And you got a couple of great guys joining you there every week, and it's just a blast to be a part of it. So I'm glad I got to be on the first edition.
Tommy, thank you so much. And folks can hear Tommy if you go to a game at Volunteer Stadium and watch the Clay Central Volunteers play this year. The voice you'll hear up there doing a great job on the PA, one of the top, if not the top PA guys in the state of Alabama, in addition to a very accomplished play-by-play guy is Tommy Wood. Tommy, we're going to get you out of the parking lot, get you in your car, get you back to Lineville, Alabama.
Yeah, people are starting to stop and look a little bit. I'm going to get on out of here, man.
Tommy Wood on our join us tonight on After the Game. Tommy, be careful. Tommy Wood joining us tonight here on the Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser from the RMC Media Center here on Quintard Avenue in Anniston at Parker Memorial Baptist Church. Let's tell you about our folks at Young Oil Company, Grub Mart. They are again this year going to be bringing you the Muscle Team. Going to be a little bit different with a muscle team. Instead of individual players, we're going to have an entire offensive or defensive line. For instance, we may have, a high school, we chose the entire offensive line, all 5 or 6 of those guys, the entire defensive line, all 3 or 4 or 5 of those guys. And this year, they're going to get a Grub Mart Muscle Team t-shirt that we're going to give to all those guys as well. So we're excited about that. And Grub Mart, once again, Grub Mart locations north to south, Cherokee County to Lee County, all places in between. Let me tell you something else that the fine folks at Grub Mart are going to do. If you have one of the old last year's or a previous year grub tub, the popcorn bucket. Through the end of next August, if you'll bring that bucket in, they're going to refill it for free. Absolutely. They're going to do that for you. 99-cent ice all the time. And if you're looking for a great company to look for, how about Young Oil Company and Grub Mart? Great folks to work there taking applications as well. Bringing you our muscle team and great supporters of high school football Alabama after the game. We'll be back with more as we roll on a football Friday night. High school football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit Debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today. Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
We are back on high school football Alabama after the game. Jon Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, the coach Michael Short with you until we're probably going to be here after midnight tonight. Covered high school football like nobody else would even attempt to do on this football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We're going to jump to Class 6A. We've got 2 regions in our area involving 6A teams, and that's Class 6A Region 6, Class 6A Region 8, as we look at some of the final scores from teams around our area involving those games tonight, as we have 3 teams basically, Oxford, Pell City, and Gadsden City involved in that region. We'll get some insight here in just a moment from both of these guys because they were both at this game tonight. McAdory beating Oxford tonight, a little bit of a surprise. 34-21 was the final score in that game. Oxford's now won all 4 meetings. I should say McAdory's won all 4 meetings against Oxford. We're going to have highlights of that game and talk about that game in depth in just a moment. Also tonight, the Pell City Panthers are in that same region. Pell City lost tonight at home, the debut of one of the great coaches in Alabama, Steve Mask, who was won so many state championships down at St. Paul's Episcopal in Mobile. But Moody has a new coach as well, and they have a lot of new players. And Moody beats Pell City tonight 55-21. And Gadsden City tonight at home playing powerhouse Carrollton, Georgia. Carrollton comes into Titan Stadium, and they beat the Titans tonight 69-7. And that was an impressive win by Carrollton, Georgia tonight against Gadsden City. So those are the scores involving our 6A teams here in the state of Alabama. And guys, we want to go ahead and take a look at, we're going to start with 6A Region 6. Right. as far as we go to our region rundown here. So we're going to take a look at Class 6A Region 6. That's the region that's kind of the South teams, so to speak. You've got Center Point moving up from 5A. Clay Chalkville, defending state champion. We'll talk about them in a minute. Huffman, Oxford, Pell City moving into that region after being in a different region last year. And then you've got Pinson Valley, who's won 3 state championships over, I think, the last 5 years. And you've got Shades Valley in there as well. Guys, this region is tough.
Exactly. And one of the things I want to say is just hold the graphic for a second if we can in our control room. Let's rewind time back to maybe 2013-14. From 2014 to where we stand today, how many state championships do you see right here between Clay Chalkville, what Oxford won in 2019? You have Pinson Valley winning with both Coach Nix and Coach Sam Shade winning his first one. Huffman has always been viable. Shades Valley back in the day was very viable. This is, to me, a really stacked region altogether, especially here lately.
I think, guys, the last 5 state champions, I think, have been out of that region. Oxford, Clay Chalkville, Pinson Valley, 2-3 times?
Right.
So, yeah, this is the region. It may not be top to bottom the toughest region in the state, but the quality of competition, especially at the top half of this region, takes a back seat to nobody.
Well, Clay Chalkville, what's impressive about them is a lot of people may not realize, but they had to replace both coordinators.
Right.
The offensive coordinator left has gone to Mountain Brook, Brad Easley, and then the Etowah's head coach right now, Matt Glover, was the defensive coordinator last year for Clay Chalkville. So they have replaced both coordinators, and now they're sitting at 1-0, and it was an impressive 1-0 win tonight.
Yeah, 48-0 over Briarwood Christian, who they beat them last year 56-21 in the playoffs, and everybody thought, well, maybe can they do that again? Can they win by 35 points? Yeah, they win by more than that, 48-0 tonight over a very good Briarwood team with the #1 quarterback in the state who's already committed to Clemson, and that didn't matter. That Clay Chalkville defense shut them out tonight, 48-0 in that game at Clay Chalkville. The Oxford Yellow Jackets, kind of a little bit of a mystery team, still a very young team. Both of you guys are at Lamar Field tonight in the rain. Heavy rain tonight at Lamar Field. We'll talk about that a little bit, but Gerhard, you got the highlights for us tonight from Lamar Field, where McAdory, tradition-rich program, came in and they beat Oxford tonight 34-21. Take us through the highlights.
Yeah, Lamar Field obviously has seen a lot of great football, and you have two teams that are tradition-rich, both teams with a Yellow Jacket moniker, so you had to go by either Oxford or McAdory because the mascots didn't really matter in this one. But what you expected to see with both teams, and especially at the beginning of the year, Oxford played a lot of guys last year really young, and McAdory came in with a really big, really strong and good football team going into this matchup. And so we wanted to see some seasoning from both teams and seeing what they look like from an athletic standpoint. I don't know if we had those highlights so we could fire up for you guys over at Lamar Field. In Oxford, the Yellow Jackets, everybody juice. Look at those helmets, guys. Those were a fan favorite. I like the helmets too. Coach Sam Adams in his second year leading this football team. A lot of excitement going into the year. Meanwhile, we'll start with the McAdory offense. Jacob Clopton here to Roderick Thomas. And how about this 45-yard run here? And this was my first game shooting in a long time as a photographer, so I was hoping to get some good shots here. But Thomas gave me a great one, breaking the tackle on the outside, give him 56 yards and a touchdown right there. And McAdory takes an early 7-0 lead into this one. Then the McAdory defense steps up. This is a great pick. This is Mason Mims on the pass, but the interception, just played that on the ball perfectly. Closed out and got the interception. That was Brett Barnes, by the way. And then the quarterback run here by Clopton. Touchdown run, capping off the interception. An early 14-0 lead for McAdory. A little bit later, how about Mason Mims? A great pass. Coach, you said this. You were on the sideline together. This was to Jaden Thomas. Thomas does the rest going down the sideline. Pickup of 56 yards. Then a little bit later on, Mims over to Nick Richardson, number 9, all by himself in the back of the end zone. Oxford scores its first touchdown. And guys, look at the lights in the background. If you go to an Oxford game and they score a touchdown, it's a really nice little light show. But then how about McAdory answering right back? This is a 4th down play, guys. Clopton to Kristen Merritt for the touchdown. When I left Lamar Field, it was 21-7. You see the final score here as McAdory once again winning all 4 of the matchups, including today. Oxford made some adjustments in the second half. Looked a little bit better in the second half. It rained, guys, a lot, making that turf really slick out there. But McAdory getting the win there, 34-21, and they look really, really solid today, John.
Guys, start with you, Coach. I think the Oxford fans probably want to know, first and foremost, how good is McAdory?
Well, I can tell you how good they are. They got a kid that was suspended for tonight is 6'7", and 230-pound wide receiver. And you could see him over there standing amongst everybody. That's how big he was, and he didn't play. But I think McAdory has a chance by watching them. They're very good up front. They outsized, Oxford still, even though a lot of those guys played last year as 9th graders, now they're 10th graders. And still because the Larkins kid, tore his ACL. So in their secondary, they're sitting back there now with another freshman. They had 3 freshmen on defense tonight, and that's tough in 6A football, especially the region they're in. But I really think that everybody needs to keep an eye on McAdory because they got a good opportunity, and they got a good kicker. Got a left-footed kicker,
right.
And every time he kicks off, he either hits it in the end zone or right there close to it. So they got a good offense, and defensively they get after the ball and they tackle well. And I was very impressed with McAdory tonight.
All right, Oxford I think Oxford is going to be heard from in that region. There's no doubt about that. I think they're going to make some noise. Still a young football team, but tonight McAdory comes in and they win the game 34-21. Let's take a look now at Region 8. And in Region 8, we've got, that's Gadsden City basically as far as our region teams go in that region. There's no really teams that are, all the teams are up north from that region. You've got folks like Fort Payne, Lee of Huntsville, the teams from the Huntsville area, and then you got Gadsden City in there. But I think this is a region, even though Gadsden City lost tonight 69-7, to Carrollton, Georgia. There are no Carrollton, Georgias in Class 6A Region 8 as we take a look at that region.
Yeah, there aren't any, Coach. And my thing is I believe that this to me, this region is going to be really tough to get one of those 4 spots in it. I expect Gadsden City to be one of those better teams. And as John mentioned, there's not going to be a team as good as Carrollton, Georgia in this region or on the 6A slate outside of maybe Clay Chalkville.
Look, Carrollton could match that score against anybody that's in that region.
100%.
Every time, every week. They can, and that's just how good they are. But what you're going to see, the most important thing is I'm looking forward to next week's game is how much improvement they make after, first of all, he's got to do a great job mentally of getting those kids back up. And then say, look, this is what we're playing for here.
Yeah.
And let's just see how much we can improve because that was just a game, it's there and you want to do well in it.
Right.
But there's so much that they can improve on, I'm sure.
Exactly. Another interesting thing, John, about this region, only 6 teams in it. You only play 5 region games. Half of your schedule is non-region and half is region.
And another non-region, and it gets no easier for Gadsden City next week. They go down I-59 to Hewitt, Trussville to play another non-region game. That'll be pretty tough. Let's tell you about the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. We're going to tell you a lot about the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. They do a great work here providing scholarships. They put on our Calhoun County Media Day over at the Anniston Country Club. And we've got, look at this list of speakers they've got. If you want to join, membership information, Kevin Gibson at the bottom, 453-4886. Not too late to line up and be a part of this on Monday nights at the Anniston Country Club. Andy Burcham from the Auburn Radio Network, Cole Kubelik coming, Rich Rodriguez, head coach at Jack State, Barrett Jones, former Alabama great player. I'm looking forward to hearing Dari Noka from the SEC Network. A lot of great speakers that are coming. I think they've even got another surprise guest that they're going to bring in. But we appreciate the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. We're going to give you a lot of information throughout the year about what they've got going on. But that's their speaker lineup. September 12th is the first time that they will have their meeting coming up. And also we want to tell you about our fine friends at Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware, bringing you our scoreboard. And Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware, guys, they got the greatest deals because what they do, I don't like putting stuff together. You guys like putting stuff together? No.
Not really.
No. Well, you buy a grill. You buy a grill down at Oxford Lumber, Traeger Grill, whatever it is, big green egg. They put it together for you and they deliver it for you. So you're getting ready for football season, tailgating, Saturdays, whatever. Going to be in front of the television watching all those great college football games. You need a new grill. Go to Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware and say, hey, those guys on After the Game said that you will put it together and bring it to my house. They'll absolutely do that. Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware, great sponsor of high school football Alabama After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. When we come back, the head coach of the Weaver High School Bearcats, Coach Gary Atchley, will join us live on After the Game.
Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
We are back on high school football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, the coach Michael Short with us tonight. We are coming to you from the RMC Media Center on Quintard Avenue in Anniston on the campus of Parker Memorial Baptist Church again in 2022. And this is the Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser, where we bring in all kinds of coaches after the game. You had Mark O'Brien on earlier, joining us from Coosa Christian High School, and now we've got the head coach of the Weaver Bearcats, Coach Gary Ashley, with us. Coach,
yes, sir.
Welcome in. Tough loss for your team tonight against Donahoe. You had the lead in the game. Donahoe, to their credit, comes back and wins 31-28. A great Calhoun County football game. First, I want to talk about the game itself, because both these schools have been playing for over 50 years. You're about 7 miles apart by the crow flies, but had never played each other before. Right. And you played each other this year. Kind of tell us how the game came about to be.
Well, they had the old coach. What was his name? Mark Sanders. And we've been playing junior high forever. Yes. So we said, why not? Since I only had a 17 region, everybody's trying to scramble and try to find games. So kind of worked out where we both could play week 0, I guess. So we said, why not? Let's just do it.
Coach, a lot of positive things happened. I know that's a tough loss for your team tonight, but you led in this game at one time pretty big there. So obviously, there were some good things happening for this Weaver Bearcat football team. Tell us about the good things that happened tonight that you saw from the Bearcats.
Well, we've been talking about working on us. It shouldn't matter who we play against. We got to work on us. I thought we tackled better. I thought we ran our offense a lot better. I think depth is getting us, and this kind of took over towards the end of the game. But positives are, I told you last year, if I didn't tackle, we've got to work on tackling. We have. We tackled a lot better. We're getting better. We're going to work, man. I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to try to get this thing going the right way.
Coaches, we take a look at some highlights of the game tonight. In the first half, you led 16-3 at halftime there. What's the positive thing as we see right there, 16-3, and we see you coaching out there at Bill Bryan Stadium? Coach, what's the biggest improvement maybe? And I know Coach is going to have a few questions for you here too, but what is the biggest improvement from 2021 to 2022 that you've seen with your team?
Tonight I thought we had a bunch of kids that didn't give up and didn't quit. They kept on. They stayed the course. They're excited. They was cheering for each other. It kind of felt like we was trying, like some of the, I hate to say it, like the good old days when we had all those tons of athletes and stuff, and we were playing together. Things are changing. It's going to look really slow. I get it, and the people ain't going to believe me, but things are changing. It's getting better.
Coach, I know Coach Short's got some. He's been in the coach, and he's been in this same position before, because when you coach long enough, you're going to have big wins, and you're going to have great seasons, and you're going to have some low points. Like I know tonight was kind of tough for your team. Coach Short, what's going through your mind tonight with Weaver?
Well, as I'm watching the highlights, the first thing, and I don't take this as negative or positive, however you want to take it, but as we're watching the highlights, I know that you're building. Okay, I understand that.
Yes, sir.
And you're playing Donahoe, and some people would say classification-wise that ought to be a win. Okay, but you're also playing. Yeah, people look at that too much, but you're also playing a team in Donahoe that has been there.
Yeah.
The past several years. I know last year they had some injuries, but those kids on that team still remember what it's like to get in the playoffs.
Good players.
And they've been there before, and they do have good players. And it's not like you just went out there and played somebody that was terrible.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you end up being a great game. So, I mean, tell us some of the things that, I mean, I know that there's positives there and want to be there, but tell me some of the things that you can do where you think you need to improve on the most, because we all know that you improved the most from game 1 to game 2,
right.
And your region's still sitting in front of you. I mean, that's the most important thing. But what can you take from tonight and build on for next week and on down the line?
Evidently, so I think we give up 400-something yards passing tonight. We're going to work on a secondary. Bad thing about that is I'm playing Glencoe next week. Probably ain't going to throw the ball as much as – so as much as we like to work on a secondary, probably ain't going to be able to work on as much as we want to, because I know what he's going to run at me. And so – but just we're going to work on talking in the secondary, get stuff better. Like I said, I think tackling's better. We're going to get – the pass rush is going to get better. Listen, I got kids, man, that want to play football again, and we ain't got a ton of them. And, you know, I got a school that's behind them. We had a great pep rally today. I got great administration, had a great fans. It was packed tonight. You wouldn't have thought that we've only won one game in 3 years as many people was there. And it's a good thing, man. It's great being at Weaver. It's just tough.
You're going to stay the course.
We are going to stay the course. It's tough, and we are. We're going to stay the course, and we're going to be all right.
Well, if anybody can do it, you can do it. I mean, I know that. I appreciate what you do, and that community, I know appreciates it, because they know what good football is.
Yes, they
and
do.
they're getting back to that. I mean, it's going to happen.
Coach, let's talk about your region. This region you were in really got split in half. Yes. Literally, not only in the county, but north-south. Half of your region went to North Alabama, and you and Sax and Welborn went into South Alabama, basically, when we get to talking about playoff time. So as we take a look at some of the final scores, we'll take a look at the region first, and we'll get some final scores. You got a lot of teams that folks around here are not that familiar with. They know about Sax, they know about Welborn and Weaver and Randolph County, but they don't know a whole lot about Childersburg and Beulah and Dadeville. Just kind of your thoughts on this region here.
Listen, I'm sitting here looking at these records right now, and look, we jumped out of the fire probably until, what's that I was saying, probably, and these teams are going to be good. I know, so you know, Welborn lost tonight. They played Anniston tonight. So you got teams, and Childersburg play somebody good. They play Sax, right? So you just got, the area's going to be tough. We're trying to throw ourselves in the mix, but before we even worry about playoffs, we've got to worry about what we got to do to get better at Weaver High School.
Got Glencoe coming in next week from that old region. Scott Martin comes back to Calhoun County. His first game, they open up, actually. They had an open date tonight, so they open up coming to your place next week. So you got that game coming up. But let's take a look at some of the final scores from that region tonight as we go back to our Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard. You see the loss there for your team to Donahoe, 31-28 tonight. But also in that region, Sax beat Ohatchee. We'll have some highlights of that game coming up later, a little bit later on here after the game. Sax beat Ohatchee 41-15. Anniston over Walter Welborn 52-18 the final. We'll have highlights of that game coming up from the hill at Walter Welborn tonight. And then Munford beat Childersburg. I was a little bit surprised that Childersburg hung in there pretty tough with Munford for a while. Munford won that game over Childersburg 28-14. Randolph County had an open date on this week 0. They won't not play. And then, of course, you got the two out-of-area teams, out of our coverage area in Beulah and in Dadeville. Yes. Just kind of your thoughts overall going forward and going into next week's game.
Well, we're going to get better. We're going to have a good week. We're going to have a great week of practice. We're going to get ready to play Glencoe and get ready to try to get. We got Dadeville at home in 2 weeks, so we're going to get better next week. Then we're going to get ready to play, get in that area schedule.
Well, one thing I can see was you playing Glencoe, and then I look at some of the teams that you're going to play in your region. You know, to get in the playoffs, you're going to eventually have to play against somebody like Glencoe.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm looking at Welborn and Sax. Sax can throw at some of their explosive play type guys.
Right.
But what you do this week against Glencoe, especially stopping the run, is what you're going to have to do eventually against about 3 of those guys that you're going to play.
I agree.
So I know we're talking about maybe some of the injuries you've had and it hurting your secondary, but those guys are going to have to come up there in the box and play this week, and that's what you're going to have to do to get in the playoffs this week against Glencoe. will be a big thing for you to see. Can we step up there in the box and go to fight and stop the run? Because against 3 of those teams you're going to play in that region that I see are going to be just like them. So I think this is a big game for you this week.
Oh, there's no doubt. I expect not to sleep a whole lot this week. So we just.
It's that time of year, Coach. You don't sleep.
Your week this would be like my week. This would be like my week was this week. Getting ready for this.
My wife, I guess.
And your voice is doing well tonight.
Yeah,
it's doing good. I know you holler just a little bit.
Thanks.
Coach, one last thing before we go. We want to be lighthearted. You and I have something in common we talked about back in the spring.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do.
So who's the greatest pro wrestler of all time?
That's Ric Flair, baby.
That is exactly right. I'm not going to ask Coach to give us a. When you give us a woo, and he gave us a 4 horsemen tonight.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that, and we shared that. Somebody told me, said, Coach, actually, he's like you. He's a big wrestling fan, and so I had to test him. Said, Coach, who's the greatest wrestler of all time? And he immediately passed the test because he said, the Nature Boy.
That's exactly right.
Coach, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Here. Thank y'all very much for having us.
Coach, best of luck to your team the rest of the way. I know there's some big wins coming for this Weaver football team, even this year. I know it's a tough loss tonight, but I know you'll get back after. We're going to be keeping up with you throughout the rest of the season.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Gary Atchley is the head coach of the Weaver Bearcats, joining us tonight on our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. We continue with high school football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit Debit Card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options. Plus, a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule. So where did she find all that?
Right here at RMC.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, and the coach Michael Short with you on this football Friday night. We're going to focus on some 2A football now as we continue looking at 2A Regions 4 and 6, a couple of 2A regions here in East Alabama. One of those games involving a 2A team tonight in 2A Region 4 was the Ranburne Bulldogs out at Robertson Field at White Plains, taking on the White Plains Wildcats. And so we are going to talk about that game. We don't have Gerhard, I think, his mic going on, but we're going to talk a little bit about that region. We're also going to talk about Class 2A Region 6 tonight. So again, we've got two regions, kind of a north-south, 2A Region 6 in the south, 2A Region 4 in the south, and 2A Region 6 in the north. So we're going to talk about those regions coming up. We'll also have highlights of that White Plains and Ranburne game coming up, and we'll run through some scores of those as well. 2A, again, we've got a Ranburne team that we saw last week. They were in the Jamboree out at Spring Garden. Ranburne playing Ohatchee. And now we've got Gerhard. He's back on with us now. We had a little technical snafu there. But Gerhard, you were out at White Plains tonight.
That's right.
You've seen Ranburne play twice in a row. Ranburne last week playing at Spring Garden in that Jamboree, and then Ranburne playing tonight for real out at White Plains. Give us the highlights from out at Robertson Field.
Yeah, it's really a good scenario out there, good team. I like the fact that this is a non-region game between these two teams. I think they both bring the same style of football. It's a kind of a hard-nosed style of ball. And Coach Chandler Tyree doing a good job with White Plains. Over at Ranburne, they're always tough. They're always really solid today. Over at White Plains, over at Robertson Field is where I was after the Oxford game. Came over there. It's a tie ball game, 7-7. Over at Robertson Field, over in White Plains. White Plains off to a nice little start here. It picks up a big first down, but this drive ends up stalling. White Plains will get the ball back. Guys, this is right before a fourth down call. Chandler Tyree, stoic. Let's go for it, guys. 4th and 3. Give it to one of your best athletes on the team. It's Jaden Barksdale going off on the side. A huge run here, but guys, this is not good for White Plains. He comes up holding his ankle, and he ends up getting taken off by the training staff, and you see Coach Tyree there. And I was trying to make sure he was walking not solely off of his own power. We'll hope that he's okay. How about this trust in your backup quarterback? This is Wade Thompson going up and hitting Rodney Perry. So a couple of plays in, you bring your backup quarterback in, he goes over the top and gets it done. Then another fourth down play. 4th and 13 from the 14. All you can do to get a first down is get a 13-yard play down to the 1-yard line. That's exactly what they do. That is Brandon Ham right there on the reception. And then Wade Thompson punches it in. That is the go-ahead touchdown for White Plains. White Plains makes it 14-7. It takes a while to get the call in. And some of the guys in blue trying to aid the official. They finally get it in. That's the go-ahead touchdown as White Plains takes the 14-7 lead. This is a hard-fought football game. And guys, that touchdown was the difference. How about the backup quarterback, Wade Thompson, coming in for Jaden Barksdale. We hope he's okay. We'll try to get some word out to Coach Chandler Tyree today, see if we can get an update on his status. But what trust they have in Wade Thompson. He's just a football player for this football team, and he was able to come in, backup quarterback, 2 huge plays to set up the go-ahead touchdown and win the game.
White Plains beats Ranburne. Big win for the White Plains Wildcats. Let's take a look at some of the final scores from out of that Class 2A Region 4, which is kind of the southern kind of thing there. Ranburne they've had some losses in the offseason.
Right.
They had a transfer, and they've had a lot of things happen to them in the offseason, but that was a tough loss for them tonight against White Plains. We take a look at some of the final scores out of that 2A Region 4. This was the score we were looking for. Dadeville, look at this, beating BB Comer 48-21, the final score in that game. That is, if that score is correct, that is going to be a monumental upset. We will double check that one and see, but that will send some shockwaves through Class 3A and Class 2A. And Class BB Comer was going to be a team that, hey, I picked them to be in the Super 7. Dadeville, the 3A team, beats them tonight 48-21 over at Tiger Stadium in Dadeville. Other scores from that region, Woodland tonight also took it on the chin. They lost at Victory Christian 31-6, the final from over in Pell City. So 2A Region 4 not having a good night tonight with the Ranburne loss. Other scores from that region tonight, Raglan loses to Vincent 41-26, the score in that game. And so basically, guys, in this region, we see Gaston and Asbury. We're going to go into Class 2A Region 6 as we go north. Gaston was leading Asbury 42-20. Don't have a final on that score yet. And we keep to the north in 2A Region 6. West End beat Galesville 63-26. So we're kind of combining the two regions here, 2A Region 4 and 2A Region 6. And guys, as we take a look at the region rundown in those regions right there, we're going to be looking at some shockwaves. Probably in this 2A Region 4, who would have thought that BB Comer would be sitting here at 0-1? Fayetteville and Isabella didn't play. Ranburne at 0-1. Woodland at 0-1. I think all those teams tonight probably coming in at least 50-50 in that game, if not favored. So that region right there is, I think there's some shockwaves in there tonight. The biggest one being, we've got it confirmed on that Dadeville BB Comer score. Guys, that's the shocker there. Ranburne's going to have a real good time, I think, in 2A Region 4. I think they've got a chance to make some noise.
Well, the thing that you need to look at is Woodland last year was 5-5 when they entered the playoffs and got hot in the playoffs and won it and did well. So, it got a brand new coach. And that's in. They lost a lot of players, so you got to give him a chance. I watched him in a 7-on-7 this year against Cleveland County and Hanley, and they look pretty good in that. But again, a brand new coach and a lot of new players. And I wouldn't, even though they're 0-1, I wouldn't count Woodland out yet. Ranburne-wise, and I was talking to their coach a while ago, and he sent me some stats tonight, and they had some, and Coach just went over it here about some of the things, but it was 14-7, but they had 36 carries for 150 yards tonight, and that's a good night of rushing the football.
Right.
And when both of them are playing, they're both trying to keep the ball away from each other, and they're trying to run that clock and the game be over with real quick.
Right.
Not like another one. So it was a big night for Ranburne at White Plains as far as rushing the football. And then when you go over and look at the White Plains. You mentioned the quarterback a while ago coming in as a backup. Well, their totals tonight was 156 yards rushing and 103 yards passing.
Wow.
So the kid comes in and did a good job. So who knows? He may end up being the quarterback and put the other kid at other places because the other kid can run and catch and throw.
Right. Chandler Tyree, obviously trusting Wade Thompson, and immediately 3 plays in, he goes straight to the air.
Well, Barksdale had already been rushed for 43 yards. He had caught a pass for 5 yards, and then he had threw for 45 yards.
Right.
So he can do a little bit of all of it. So, yeah, he's going to be the guy that they got to get healthy when they start getting in their region games.
And that BB Comer score, listen to Dadeville, opens that region wide open. As we look now in our region rundown at Class 2A Region 6, kind of going to the north, this was a tough region last year, basically the same region, but Spring Garden is out of that region, and you've got Pleasant Valley moving down from Class 3A. Pleasant Valley did not play tonight. You got the state runner-up from last year, Cleveland, who lost big to Class 4A Aniana. Gaston had a big win tonight. And then you got Locust Fork, Southeastern, West End had a big win tonight. So this region right here, with the loss of Spring Garden, I think a lot of folks thought maybe this region would be down a little bit. And losing Westbrook Christian, they'd moved up to Class 3A. But this region tonight looked pretty tough based on the scores that we've seen tonight.
Cleveland. My question here, and I'm asking you, didn't their coach last year, wasn't that his last year and he retired?
You talking about?
Cleveland.
Yes, they
were good last year. They could throw it all over the field. So they scored again tonight quite a few points against a runner-up 4A team in Aniana.
And again, you got Ranburne in 2A Region 4 who jumped up 2 classes to play White Plains, and Cleveland did the same thing in 2A Region 6, jumping up 2 classes to take on Aniana. Now let's talk about that region. I think is going to be more balanced, maybe more competitive. Cleveland maybe not as good as last year. Pleasant Valley could be a real factor in that region in Class 2A Region 6. We want to tell you about a brand new partner with us here on High School Football Alabama after the game. We're talking about Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden, Kevin Riggin and the guys over there. And let me tell you what they're doing at Team 1 Chevrolet in Gadsden. Take a test drive and you could win a huge tailgate package. Win an Auburn or Alabama tailgate package ready for game day. Plus someone will win a grand prize, including a grill, a generator, a big screen TV. Log on to Chevrolet of Gadsden for complete details or drop by Team 1 Chevy on East Megan in Gadsden, where everyone is a winner. High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission, rolling on a football Friday night.
Take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke. And don't forget about our low price guarantee.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
Jon Holder back with you on a Football Friday night on High School Football Alabama after the game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We are going to talk 4A Region 4, one of the top regions in the state of Alabama tonight. We got highlights of one of the top teams in that region. We just saw the White Plains Wildcats. They're in that region as well in Class 4A Region 4. But we're going to also talk about this Class 4A Region 4. Let's begin by looking at the final scores from the games tonight involving teams in that region tonight, and there were a little bit of surprises there. Not surprising that Anniston won, but Anniston was very impressive. We got highlights of that game coming. We're going to get some analysis from Namath Pitts, who called that game. Anniston beating Walter Wellborn 52-18. I was at that game on the hill at Walter Wellborn. Very impressive performance by the Anniston Bulldogs. Also in Class 4A Region 4, Jacksonville will have highlights of that game. They beat Boaz tonight at Golden Eagle Stadium 27-7 as the Golden Eagles, number 4 team in the state in Class 4A, beating Boaz. Also in Class 4A Region 4, Munford, as we told you, beating Childersburg tonight 28-14, the final at John Cox Stadium in Childersburg. We also had tonight in this region number 2. There's 3 ranked teams in the state in this region, and number 2 Hanley beat Valley, who moved down from 6A to 5A down at right field. 22-20 was the final score in that game. Cleburne County is going to play tomorrow. Their game with Mount Zion, Georgia, was rained out or stormed out tonight. They will play tomorrow at 4 o'clock over at Mount Zion, Georgia. And Talladega tonight, Bill Smith, the debut of the Talladega Tigers, they lost tonight to the Lincoln Golden Bears by a score of 54-0. Although we have that score or not, but that was the final score in that game. There it is, Lincoln beating Talladega 54-0 tonight. And as we take a look at that region, Class 4A Region 4, as we mentioned, there are 3 teams in that region ranked in the top 10 in the state of Alabama: Jacksonville, Handley, and Anniston. It's as tough as nails, as you see right there. Anniston won tonight. Handley, Jacksonville all winning. Munford winning tonight. White Plains winning tonight. Heflin will play tomorrow. The only team that lost in that region, guys, was Talladega. As we come back to the set and welcome Namath Pitts in from WVOK AM with his game of the week. And his game of the week tonight was the Anniston Bulldogs. Let's talk about this region tonight, Class 4A Region 4.
One of the more interesting regions, in my opinion, top to bottom. You have Handley, a team that we've seen a large part of over the last few years. Jacksonville, probably one of the best quarterbacks in this region, if not one of the best quarterbacks in this state. To get one of these top 4 spots, in my opinion, will be incredibly difficult.
Absolutely. And Namath, you're doing a game of the week this year, streaming on WVOK AM. You had the game tonight between Anniston and Walter Wellborn on the Hill. Anniston opening kickoff of the game, a 92-yard kickoff return in the game, and then it just went on from there. Just maybe not specific plays in the game because we got highlights coming, but just your overall impression of this Anniston Bulldog team. High expectations with the college athletes they have on the team. But this is they were as advertised tonight, I thought.
Absolutely. If you were at this game in the first really 2 minutes, you got fireworks, you got your money's worth. I mean, Jaden Lewis, let me tell you, that guy is serious. And Cameron Stanley has some big plays. But Malachi Taylor, it's a guy that not a lot of people talk about. Everybody talks about Cunningham and Sandlin and McElderry, but Malachi Taylor, the running back, I believe he had over 200 yards rushing tonight.
Wow.
And, I mean, they just kept feeding him the ball late in the game. That guy is going to be a problem for 4A Region 4 and Class 4A as a whole.
This is as talented as a team. You've seen a lot of football. Namath, you guys seen a lot of football. This is as talented a team as you're going to see in the state of Alabama. I think in Class 4A, the Bulldogs, they got size, they got speed. There's talent all over the field with this bunch.
The question that I have, because you got to watch, and I have not seen Anniston on film yet, was are they going to be able to throw the ball down the field? You know, they don't have the high-name receivers that they've had last year. But will they be able to? I know they can throw it out in the flats and they can run the ball, but when people put more people in the box that can handle them, are they going to be able to throw the ball down the field? Did you see part of that tonight, being able to throw the ball down the field?
I believe they're capable, but I believe they didn't have to show that tonight. Yeah. I mean, the Malachi Taylor was so dominant in the run game. They tried to do it kind of late in the second quarter, and they really weren't successful. I mean, Wellborn had them 4th and 19 in their own end zone, and they did a fake punt pass and got a first down, but it was because Cameron Sandlin kept it. He scrambled a lot, so we really didn't see them throw the ball deep down the field. Again, I think they're capable, but I think that's not something they had to show tonight.
Through highlights so far, the one thing I've noticed tonight, we all were at a bunch of different games, is what you normally see on the first game is first we had weather, we had rain. But we didn't see a lot of turnovers. We did at the Oxford game. It wasn't Oxford. It was McAdory turning the ball over a lot. But I haven't seen a lot of turnovers, so that's actually positive because normally you see turnovers and penalties in this week, and we didn't see a lot.
Not to the same volume that we're used to seeing at this time of year. And as you mentioned, the turnovers that I saw at the games that I was at, it was a great defensive play. It wasn't a lapse on the offensive side, just a bad play offensively. It was more credit to the defense for forcing and creating that turnover.
And the one thing I've seen so far, all the games I've seen so far, is the offenses, which normally doesn't happen this time of the year. It's usually your defenses are ahead.
Right.
But I've seen way more offenses ahead, which means they're playing a lot of 7-on-7s during the summer.
Yep.
They're throwing it around a lot more.
Yeah, definitely.
Gerhard, we talked a lot about this Anniston team. Let's look at this Anniston team. You got the highlights from win of what I think is going to be a good Wellborn team tonight out on the Hill.
That's exactly right. It's a great place to play football. Namath, you know it very well. It's one of the more famous places. Let's go out to the Hill over at Walter Wellborn. Always a great crowd there. The Panthers support their team. Anniston Bulldogs supporting their team. It's great to see this rivalry back, guys, and just these two names across the state of Alabama. Knowing Panthers, Bulldogs back at it, I'm glad that Coach White and Coach Jeff Smith were able to get this game back on the schedule. Namath said the word fireworks, and here's firework number one. Jaden Lewis, 92-yard touchdown run. Guys, I think one of the most impressive things is he's untouched. The only guy that touched him was his own guy helping him block, basically got his ankle. Great blocking, great kicking game. Not a better way to start your season with a touchdown the very first time you touch the ball. Meanwhile, a little bit later, it's Ahmad Moore. It's a 70-yard scamper for the Walter Wellborn Panthers. And that goes into the end zone for the touchdown. 2-point conversion, no good. So we're sitting at a 7-6 lead there for the Anniston Bulldogs. A little bit later, more from Anniston. Cam Sandlin, who Namath mentioned earlier. He's a great runner. We'll see if he can throw the ball, as Coach mentioned earlier, but there got 42 yards, the touchdown, PAT good, 14-6 early on. Little Javon Thomas here for Anniston. Also another big touchdown run. 40 yards run right here for the touchdown for the Anniston Bulldogs. It's 21-6 Anniston here. And then Wellborn getting back on the scoreboard with this Grayson Johnson 10-yard run. 2-point conversion, no good. Anniston with a 21-12 lead as we left. And we mentioned earlier that Anniston will be really, really solid. Namath said the word fireworks earlier. We saw at the beginning. We only had 21 points at our highlights. You see the final score here, letting you know just how talented Anniston is.
Anniston beats Wellborn 52-18, the final on our Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard. And Namath, let's talk about, before we go to break here, about what you're doing this year, a game of the week that is live streamed. People can hear it on WVOK AM. Tell us about what you got coming up in the next week and some of the games you got coming throughout the season.
Absolutely, and hey, thank you to WVOK for this opportunity this year. This is something I've wanted to do for years, but we're just going to different places every week and just doing different games, whether it be the best game that week or the best storyline, or teams that don't get that much coverage compared to other teams. Next week we'll be out at Bill Bryan Stadium as the Weaver Bearcats host Glencoe Yellow Jackets and new head coach Scott Martin. We've got Spring Garden and Wadley. We've got Cherokee County and Montford on the schedule, and then ultimately it all leads up to right back to the Hill Week 9 for what I believe is going to be a region championship between the Sacs Wildcats and the Wellborn Panthers, and then we'll end the season at Westbrook Christian with White Plains and Westbrook.
Namath, thank you so much for coming with us.
Remember, we talked about Wellborn in the stadium.
Right.
But they were voted this summer as one of the top 10 places in the state of Alabama to go to a game. So props to all their community and their administration and all the people out there that support the football. They're one of the top 10 places in the state of Alabama to go witness a football game.
Well, there were some injuries and bumps and bruises out there. We've seen those. We saw that at all the stadiums. If you are a player out there and you are suffering from some of those, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. at the Tyler Center, Anniston Orthopedics. They bring us our score shirts for our Team of the Week, which, by the way, we're going to announce coming up shortly here on High School Football Alabama after the game. But every Saturday morning, the Sports Injury Clinic at the Tyler Center on the 3rd floor. Call them at 236-4121. Dr. Kenneth Vandervoort, Dr. Tippett, Dr. Gordon Hardy, Dr. Michael Wiedmer, Dr. Dwayne Tippett, Junior and Senior, and Dr. Andrew Morris, all those guys taking great care of our local athletes here in East Alabama at Anniston Orthopedic Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. Time for our next Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden Extra Point. The state's current longest active winning streak belongs to Class 6A Clay Chalkville. Cougars have now won 16 consecutive games after their win over Briarwood Christian tonight, the defending 6A champions. Last loss, a 21-10 quarterfinal playoff loss to Mountain Brook. That was back on November 20th, 2020.
Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
There's a lot to think about when you're having a baby. Colors of the nursery, names, and most importantly, where to deliver.
We want a hospital that gives families a more personalized birthing experience.
With a compassionate team of doctors and nurses, and a hospital where my baby and I can instantly bond with all the comforts of home.
So where do we find all that?
Right here at RMC, the first designated baby-friendly hospital in Alabama.
Cash back, plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
It's a football Friday night. Jon Holder, Gerhard Mathangani, Coach Michael Short back with you on High School Football Alabama after the game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We've got some more Red Threads highlights coming up as we're bringing you, we've got highlights for our Red Threads highlights of 8 different games from across East Alabama last night and tonight. Gerhard Mathangani going to take us out to a game that I was at tonight, Jack Stewart Field at Sachs. As we turn our attention to Class 3A Region 6, we talk about splitting that region. Coach Ashley from Weaver, we talked about the South. Let's talk about the North teams, one of the mystery teams. We're going to talk about Sachs here also in 3A Region 4, but in 3A Region 6, one of the mystery teams was Ohatchee. Ohatchee and Sachs, they were in the same region, split region, but playing each other in a non-region game tonight out at Sachs. Before the rain came out there, we got there. Sachs was in control. Take us through the highlights.
Yeah, after you guys left that first game, you were able to go over to Jack Stewart Field, watch Sachs play, and as you said, the mystery team, so to speak, with Ohatchee. But it feels like every time that we have questions about Ohatchee, they always rise to the occasion, and I expect the same thing this year. However, Sachs, who was a few snaps away from the 3A state championship game last year, had a commanding 21-7 lead. When our cameras got there, a fumble recovery here by Ohatchee a little bit early on. This punt block here is by Sachs. Sachs blocks the punt here, and they're able to retain possession. Then on that possession, Dorian Walker goes to work. It's a tough 13-yard run here. No matter who's in the backfield for the Wildcats, it seems like they'll always produce. They're a nice, tough 13-yard run. Very next play, it is Walker. Carry it in for the touchdown. 4-yard touchdown run, PAT good. And just like that, they stretch their lead out to 3 touchdowns, 28-7. You got to know, even their face doesn't show it. He's got to love, Jonathan Miller has to like what he sees so far from his ball club. They are a nice stuffed run by the defense, and Coach Miller is a defensive guy. He prides himself on defense. He understands that Ohatchee will bring a tough running game. Ohatchee will get those answers, I think, as the season goes along. But today was all Sachs. Think about it, guys. The last time we saw them play was Black Friday last year, semifinals of the Class 3A state championship game. They were dejected. They could have just taken a dejected attitude into this season. Looks like they're motivated. Sachs 1-0 on the year with a big 41-15 win.
Yeah, and as we take a look at some other finals involving teams in Class 3A Region 6, Geraldine, as we said, saw them last night. Really solid team, beat Coosa Christian 36-7. You saw the highlights of that earlier. And Westbrook tonight, this is a new final coming in. Hey, Drew Knowles and the Warriors went up to Huntsville tonight and beat 4A St. John Paul II 38-3, so an impressive win for them. Taking a look at Class 3A Region 6, that region, and the updated region standings in our region rundown tonight. Again, we talked about splitting Class 3A Region 5, I guess it was, into 2 different regions. Half of the teams went north, half went south. Glencoe, Hoax Bluff, Ohatchee, and Piedmont remaining. Westbrook Christian moving up from 2A to 3A. And then 3 DeKalb County schools from up on Sand Mountain, Geraldine, Sylvania, and Westbrook Christian, all in this region. So this is an interesting region because we've taken really 2 regions and melded them kind of into one, guys.
Yeah, when I see, when I look at it, the Westbrook Christian, I looked at him and I talked to him at media days, and coaches, he really likes his team. I mean, he really likes the chemistry of this football team, and that has a lot to do whether you win ball games or not. I mean, you can be real talented and sometimes not win because you don't have that chemistry. But just looking at this region here, I know people said they've split them, but I think they've just added. I mean, look at the people that were in the playoffs last year.
Right.
The number of teams. So that they split it and took away some of Wellborn and Sachs and some of them, but they added people that are playoff contenders also that have been there before.
That's exactly right. Coach Scott Martin, I talked to him and for our picks or for the magazine. I think one of the big things in just going into the season in any year, you have a expectation for your team. I think for Glencoe, their expectation is, hey, let's get this year off to a good start. Let's build on small wins. One of the things that Coach Martin talked about in our preseason magazine was that, hey, yes, we added 4 new teams in, but those teams, as you said, were playoff teams going into the season. So you can make the argument the region got tougher in this year, and Coach Martin really talked about that. Had a in my opinion, a really good momentum going into the end of the year from an energy standpoint, from a community standpoint, and I think that's going to follow them as the years go along. But I thought he had a really poignant point there as he talked about this region going into the year.
Well, people talk about the region, but they say it was, the other one was tough, but I think it may not be tougher,
right,
but it's just as good.
Correct.
Well, you've used tough, and tough, there were 3 teams in that region that did not play a regular game this week. They played some jamborees, but we're talking about Glencoe, Hoax Bluff, and Piedmont. They've got stern tests next week. Glencoe is going to come in and take on a angry bunch of Weaver Bearcats. Glencoe lost to Weaver last year, so that's not an easy game. And then Thursday night, you got Southside and Hoax Bluff. That's still a good Southside team with a lot of returnees coming in as they come into Hoax Bluff. And then Piedmont and Cherokee County, that battle of Highway 9 up in Center. Center's got a great team this year, and they've had a big drought against the Piedmont Bulldogs. That will be a huge game coming up at Bobby Joe Johnson Field in Center next week as we get started with 3 more teams that will see their first real action coming up next week. And speaking of tough, we're going to be honoring maybe the toughest or the best player in East Alabama every week, beginning next Friday night with our Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week. And something new this year, we're going to give them a nice plaque courtesy of awards to remember in Farmers and Merchants Bank, whose name will be right there on that first trophy coming up next Friday night. We will find out from the folks at Farmers and Merchants Bank. And speaking of Farmers and Merchants Bank, they got the Spirit cards. You can go and get the debit card that has your school's logo on there. You can get that. They're very excited because they have a new branch being built coming in the next few months to Center in Cherokee County. They're excited about that. And also, over the last 4 years, they've awarded over $20,000 in scholarships, and they're going to do that again, teaming with High School Football Alabama after the game with our Spirit Scholarship. We're going to give you more details on that a little bit later on in the program and in the next couple of weeks as you will be voting for the Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship as well. We'll be back with more of High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission as we roll toward 12 midnight.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit Debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Approaching the midnight hour here at High School Football Alabama after the game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We're going back to the Oxford Lumber and Ace Hardware scoreboard tonight, and we're focusing on Class 1A Region 6. Tonight in that region, Raglan a surprise, losing at Vincent 41-26, the final score in that game. Also from that region, Spring Garden last night. We'll talk a lot about this. The number 2 team in 1A dropping from 2A beat Sandrock. Coach was at that game. We'll get a full report. Spring Garden over Sandrock. 40-8 the final score. Really surprising how impressive Spring Garden was last night. Talladega County Central losing to Tarrant tonight over in Birmingham, 27-6. Donahoe, probably the biggest win in this region tonight. As we talked earlier with Coach Gary Atchley from Weaver, Donahoe, a winner. They were down 22-3, and they scored 28 to 6 the rest of the way, and Donahoe wins at Weaver at Bill Bryan Stadium 31-28. A huge win for Jeremy Satcher in his first game as head football coach of the Donahoe Falcons. Victory Christian tonight also had a big win. Woodland had beaten Victory last year. They turned the tables tonight over in Pell City. Victory wins it 31-6. Wadley tonight, they were shocked. State runner-up last year in 1A, losing to their rival Horseshoe Bend 14-6 in that game. And Winterboro tonight, they lost 22-20 to Cedar Bluff as former Winterboro coach Alan Beckett beat his former team tonight up at LD Bruce Field at Cedar Bluff. Cedar Bluff, the number 10 team in the preseason poll, at 22-20. Cedar Bluff winning over Winterboro tonight. So let's take a look at Class 1A Region 6 and take a look at the standings there. Not surprising to see Spring Garden at 1-0, but I tell you, I think Donahoe came in maybe as the runner-up. I think Raglan was probably a favorite tonight. I thought Victory was probably an underdog, and they won. Wadley was a big favorite, and they won. Winterboro, I think, was a favorite, and they won. So there were maybe top to bottom, Coach Short, more surprises in this region tonight than maybe any other region that we've talked about.
Well, I think when we follow this region the whole year, we're going to see it's going to be very tight. There's going to be a good team left out of this region that's not going to get in the playoffs. I can see that now because I know Winterboro. I've watched them practice. I've watched them on film, and they've got some good players. But, you know, going to Cedar Bluff, that's a trip. I mean, not so much length, but just going to Cedar Bluff and playing in a place like that with those kids, you know they know how to win, and they'll be able to. Cedar Bluff, I look for big things out of them. But that whole region, the win tonight for Donahoe, Coach Satcher, he'll always remember that first win. First win as a head coach, I mean, that's hard to come by.
And the way they did it tonight, coming from down 22-3, 16-3 they have to win it 31-28. Also want to talk a lot about Spring Garden. We saw them last week. One of the halves they played in the Jamboree at home was against Hanley. They lost, I think, 20-0 in that, but I mean, that's Hanley, the number 2 team in 4A. They were jumping up 3 classifications to play Hanley, but you saw them last night, Coach, against a highly regarded 2A Sandrock team. They were in the same region with Sandrock last year and barely beat Sandrock last year, so everybody was expecting a really tight game. Spring Garden had a lot of folks to replace. They only had like 2 or 3 starters back on each side of the football, only 26 players on the roster, but you were impressed with Spring Garden last night as they rolled over Sandrock 40-8.
Well, Coach Howard, you know, around me and you both is cried. I mean, we're going to be bad. We're not going to be good. But, you know, I know how that goes. I've said the same thing before. But what caused them or gave them the greatest opportunity to win last night was by playing Hanley the week before, by playing that game. And the most impressive thing I saw last night was their tackling. And not one kid from Spring Garden, and it was hot. That cool front hadn't come through yet. Yeah. And it was hot. Not one kid from Spring Garden caught a cramp. Not one. And continuously over and over and over, the other team was losing players to cramps. So you know that he's pushed them hard to be in shape because they all play both ways. I mean, here's some of just the stats from Spring Garden. Now, was they going to throw it a whole lot? No. But just not. But they can, and they proved it for 2-point conversions and a couple of pass plays.
Chapel Polk's a better throwing quarterback, I think, than people realize.
Exactly. I mean, when I watched him warming up and throwing, you know, good passes and got some kids to catch it, they just didn't really have to because, you know, the name of the game there is running a wing tee. And what they do is run the football, and the game's there will be over by 8:45. you better go ahead and get that steak sandwich while you can, or they'll all be gone. But last night, as a team, they rushed for 407 yards. And running back Connor Bates, a sophomore, number 20, had 192 yards. But then, like you said, the quarterback, Junior Chapel Pope, number 12, had 120 yards rushing. So between them two, they had over 300-something yards themselves rushing. And that really, you could see it took a toll on Sandrock running the football. More and more kids started cramping in the second half. And defensively, of course, these kids are all playing both ways. I mean, all of them. Like you said, I got indoctrinated into 1A football. And it was an enjoy, because to me, that's the purest of football. Those kids playing both ways. Both stands were packed, brand new lights on the field. They just had gotten up, and everybody was talking about the lights, how bright it was. And Coach Howard says, man, these lights are really showing out here now. So I really enjoyed going to the game. But, man, just watching them run the wing tee, they're going to be a force.
Again, Class 1A, they're going to be a force. And I'll tell you, shout out to Acker Electric Company. Those folks did a great job in getting those lights up. There was some damage up there from a storm earlier in the summer. And also, I'll tell you something about the Spring Garden. Coach Howard had told me earlier in the summer that if they've got some inexperienced guys, but once those guys get a little experience under their belt, he felt like that they were going to be, as Coach Howard said, okay. And they're going to be more than okay. That region, though, is going to be Wadley. I don't think it's going away. Wadley and Spring Garden in a couple of weeks, but Donahoe serving some notice tonight that they're going to be heard from in that region, I think.
They will. And see, I have interviewed on another radio show that I'm on both coaches from Wadley. You know, I talked to the Wadley coach last week, and we talked to who they played. Oh, my goodness. Horseshoe Bend, yes. So both coaches were expecting a dogfight tonight, and they thought it would be, and that's what it was. But, Wadley is just wait and see. They have got one of the better freshman running backs, around. So, they're real. He's excited about his team, but he knows they're real young. So they got a lot of freshmen playing. But as the season goes along, Wadley's going to get better and better also. So don't count them out yet just because of one loss tonight.
1A Region 6 will be a region to follow. Let me tell you something else you need to follow. If you're looking for a used car right now, there is no better place to go than Pee Wee Turner Motors on South Quintard Avenue in Anniston. They have a great inventory, the best inventory in this area of used cars, SUVs, and trucks. Family owned since 1969. No credit, bad credit, good credit. They'll get you financed, guaranteed credit approval. They are not the largest, but the best used car dealership in this area. Repeat customers from Calhoun and surrounding counties. Even customers come all the way from Georgia, from other states, to buy at Pee Wee Turner Motors. PeeWeeTurnerMotors.net is the place to go to start your used car shopping. Pee Wee Turner Motors, South Quintard Avenue in Anniston. Time for our next extra point of the night, brought to you by Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden. The state's longest current active losing streak belongs to Class 6A Columbia of Huntsville. The Eagles have now lost 63 straight games. They lost again last night, 51-0 to Fairview. The last Columbia victory was a 34-16 win over Ardmore. That was back on October the 16th of 2015. The Eagles have tallied 6 consecutive 0-10 seasons. We're pulling for Columbia to get a win sometime in 2022. Back with more of After the Game here on Facebook and YouTube, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
Hi, this is Jimmy Newman from Oxford Lumber. I've kicked off many times in my football days, and that's an exciting play. When you're ready to kick off your next building or remodeling project, let us make sure you start your project off right, with the right material at the right price so you can score big and get the job done. Stop by and see our local guys with over 60 years of experience serving you. Come by any one of our 4 locations in Oxford, Talladega, Jacksonville, Roanoke, and don't forget about our low price guarantee.
In Alabama, school spirit is in the air on Friday nights. At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're giving our customers the opportunity to show their school spirit every day with our new Spirit Debit card. We've designed a unique card for every Calhoun County school that includes the school's logo. So every time you use the card, you're showing your school spirit. Come in and get your school spirit debit card today. We've got spirit at F&M Bank. Service, solutions, and strength. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today. Anniston Orthopedics continues to provide a legacy of outstanding sports injury care on and off the field, keeping our players in the game. Anniston Orthopedics offers our Saturday morning sports injury clinic from 8 to 10 a.m. throughout the high school football season. Anniston Orthopedics also offers full-service physical therapy and occupational therapy departments. To learn more, visit our website at www.annistonortho.com. Anniston Orthopedics, located in the Tyler Center adjacent to RMC.
We are a few minutes after midnight, but that's what I love about live streaming. We don't have any constraints, so we can be here all we want. We can go to overtime, and so we're going to be with you for a few more moments here. Don't forget, we've got our Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week announcement. Who's going to get the score shirts and the Tough Guy Trophy? We'll announce that coming up. Who's going to get those Anniston Orthopedic score shirts? We're going to answer that question coming up in a few moments here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We still got another round of highlights as we bring Gerhard Mathangani and Coach Michael Short in. And that's from Golden Eagle Stadium in Jacksonville tonight. Our very own Bailey Morris was there checking it out. Jeremy Sullivan, former great offensive lineman at Jacksonville State, making his return to the city of Jacksonville. Jacksonville and Boaz haven't played very much through the years. Jacksonville highly regarded in 4A, Boaz of 5A, and very solid win tonight for the Jacksonville Golden Eagles.
No doubt about it. And one of the things that you want to see with the game early on, and with a quarterback like Jacksonville has in Jim Ogle, who's highly regarded. He's highly regarded as probably one of the best quarterback talents in this county, and will be one of the top talents in the state overall. You want to see him be able to live up to the hype, and he certainly did so today in the highlights. We'll go over to Golden Eagle Stadium as the Eagles and the Pirates facing on. Look at Bailey getting great shots there just as the sun is setting. Good job there, and great job by the Jacksonville defense early on, forcing a 3-and-out right there. And then right back on offense is Jacksonville. They hand it off to DeMonte Sinclair. Goes just past the chains, 13 yards, gets a first down there. And then another first down, this time through the air. Jim Ogle rolling out, nice and easy throw there. Hits Joseph Pritchett on the outside, and watch Pritchett get some yards after the catch, helping out the Jacksonville offense. A few plays later, Eagles striking first as far as the touchdown goes. That is Ogle hitting Kydrick Fisher for the touchdown. 7 gets 6, I should say. Extra point, no good. And Jacksonville takes an early 6-0 lead. Then the defense comes right back to play for Jacksonville. Good play there by Xavier Turner, forcing the turnover on downs. Eagles getting the ball right back. And then once again, you're using Ogle on those rollouts. Once again, hitting Sinclair on the outside. Great play there. And then the nice strike. Ogle hitting right there in the crossing pattern. Sinclair once again. PAT good. Early 13-0 lead for the Eagles. Take a look at this play from Boaz. The defense just strong. Basically just takes the ball right out of Ogle's hands right there. They get the forced fumble, which sets up their offense. Takes a while for everything to get sorted out, but finally we get the signal. Boaz football, and they go to work. A few plays later, Tyler Pierce rolls out, little Jim Ogle-esque rolling out. They had a lot of rollouts today and a lot of success. On the other side of that is Corbin Pitts, and the Pirates get on the board, making it 13-7 at that point. But as we talked about earlier, this is a really strong Jacksonville football team. You saw with the offense there, they can run the football. They can throw the football with Ogle. They get a couple touchdowns after Bailey left there. 27-7, your final score is the Eagles go to 1-0 on the year.
And we're going to talk in our next segment, we're going to talk about 5A football. One of the teams that we'll talk about in 5A football is the Alexandria Valley Cubs. And next Friday night, Alexandria and Jacksonville. I think over the last few years, that in my mind has become the biggest rivalry in Calhoun County. And that is going to be an interesting game. Alexandria and Jacksonville at Lou Scales Stadium, Larry Ginn Field at Death Valley next Friday night.
Coach, I'll let you tee this one up because you've played Alexandria a lot, and you played against them, I should say, whenever you were a coach. I'll let you tee it up to talk about what that rivalry is in 4A football.
Well, I played against them.
Right.
I coached against them. So, I've done it all. I've Scales, Ginn, and Ginn.
Right.
Okay, so I've done it all with Alexandria and Jacksonville.
That's right.
But, there's that little road there, Alexandria-Jacksonville Highway there that separates them.
Right.
And that's been a rivalry for years, but it's gotten more and more intense, not just in football, basketball, baseball. It's always been an intense rivalry, and it's just going to be exciting to watch them play, and it's going to be exciting to watch, just watching the highlights here. Jacksonville has all 5 linemen returning that have played together for 3 years now.
Right.
I mean, that's unheard of. And to be able to have that and to have a quarterback that Ogle is, to be able to throw, it's just going to be a great matchup because this is going to be Alexandria's first game, okay, and this will be Jacksonville's second game.
Right.
So you're going to first find out about conditioning. We're going to see this week because I think, here's what Alexandria's praying for: a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think we're going to see some running backs that we haven't seen yet from Alexandria. I know everybody's talking about one kid, the Ross, but there may be a little Brown kid that they all talk about playing defense.
Exactly.
But I think he may have added another head to that monster
Right.
by him coming in there and playing. And I would be really interested to see how Jacksonville plays, and they do have a good offensive line. But how will they play when they got to play in a mud bowl?
Right.
I mean, are you going to be able to? And I think that is why they've got Jim. And it looks just real quickly, I can see that he's quicker on his feet. So, is he wanting to run?
Right.
No, but he can avoid a pass rush.
Right.
So they're going to sprint him out, and that means they're looking at those 2 receivers to throw the ball to. And I'd be interested to see Alexandria the past couple of years have been playing a lot of man coverage.
Right.
Are they going to man up? Because when you man up, then you're going to have to find out, can that other guy run the football?
Right.
Jacksonville has been able to run the football in the past. And when Alexandria plays man coverage, it opens up the run.
Exactly.
So are they going to be able to play man coverage against Jacksonville and be able to stop the run? That's going to be, to me, can Jacksonville line up and run the football? Because when they can run the football, then that opens up Jim Ogle on that play-action pass down the field.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be interested to see.
They have the best passing attack in East Alabama of any team in any classification, because not only Ogle, but we saw Fisher at wide receiver. They also have what I think is probably the most underrated receiver around in Drew Pridgeon.
Yep.
We saw Drew there catch a couple of big passes in that video there.
Yeah.
And Will Phillips, ninth grader, coming in.
And the other thing that people won't say is Coach Edwards and the whole staff does a great job.
Yeah.
But now you've added a quarterback's daddy.
Exactly.
There was an offensive coordinator in college for a long time, so now you've added that just a little bit of be able to add to the program,
right?
And that is invaluable. People that don't understand what he adds to the plate,
right?
And that just makes, from the collegiate standpoint, little things that you didn't think you could do, but you can do it because your son can throw through a hole that big.
Exactly, and you saw that in some of those highlights there, and I'm really excited to see that. And you teased it up a little bit, Ross and Brown. If you see that matchup coming up next week, Coach kind of hinted at it, but that should be a great matchup between the Cubs and the Eagles.
Be a great game to be shooting at.
Exactly.
Well, guys, we want to talk something with you about our Spirit Scholarship. We mentioned earlier the Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship, and right here in November, they're going to be live in studio presenting a couple of checks, $1,500 each checks going to athletes here in East Alabama. It is the High School Football Alabama Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship Fan Favorite Contest. We'll start off with 4 scholar athletes, 2 male, 2 female, from every school in Calhoun County, plus Spring Garden. There will be a $50 gift card to the final 30 athletes, and then 2 athletes chosen by you. You folks that are out there watching us tonight on Facebook, you'll be voting, and the top male and female athlete, not just football players and cheerleaders, but all sports, will receive a $1,500 scholarship each, courtesy of Farmers and Merchants Bank. Thank them for their sponsorship as well. Time now to talk about our folks from RMC. We're in the RMC Media Center here on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Anniston at Parker Memorial Baptist Church. Parker Memorial has been a great partner with us for the last couple of years at High School Football Alabama, and so has RMC. Let me tell you about some exciting things going on at RMC. They have new primary care doctors at all their family practice locations. They're now taking new patients in Oxford, Anniston, Jacksonville, and Roanoke at the Anniston Family Practice, Oxford, Jacksonville Family Medicine, the Roanoke Rural Health Clinic. New doctors, Dr. Brooke Carroll, Dr. Trey Emerson, and Dr. Bridget Gibson coming to RMC. So great new things happening with Regional Medical Center. Time for our final extra point of the night, which is being brought to you by the folks at Team 1 Chevrolet on East Meagan Boulevard in East Gaston. Kevin Riggin, all the fine folks over there. Here's the numbers right here, folks. 389 schools playing high school football in 2022 in the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Here's the numbers: 62 in 1A, 59 in 2A, 60 in 3A, 62 in 4A, 56 in 5A, 57 in 6A, 32 in 7A, and one school that is ineligible, and that is Pike Road. They're playing an AHSA schedule, but they're not eligible for the playoffs, playing a probationary period, but the Patriots will be headed to Class 2A when they are eligible for the playoffs coming up in a couple of years. That's our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden final extra point. When we come back, we're going to take a look at 5A football, wrap up the show, and we will announce our Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week.
When you shop at Pee Wee Turner Motors, you will be a winner. As lifelong supporters of East Alabama athletics, we at Pee Wee Turner Motors would like to invite you to check out our quality inventory of trucks, cars, and SUVs at peeweeturnermotors.net. We always guarantee credit approval and look forward to serving you and your family at Pee Wee Turner Motors on Quintard Avenue, Anniston.
Cash back. Plain and simple. That's what you'll get on the Noble Bank Cash Back account. No tricks, no gimmicky names, just free accounts that pay you cash back. If unlimited transactions, fraud protection, and refunds on ATM withdrawal fees nationwide sounds like your kind of banking, visit us at noblebank.com and learn more about the Noble Cash Back account. Welcome to personal banking. Welcome to Noble Bank and Trust. Noblebank.com. Member FDIC.
Are you ready for some football? Come in all month long and take a test drive at Team 1 Chevrolet and have a chance to win an Alabama, Auburn tailgate, or the ultimate tailgate package. Log on to ChevroletofGadsden.com for complete details. Chevrolet of Gadsden, where everyone's a winner. Someone's going to win an Alabama tailgate, someone's going to win an Auburn tailgate, and somebody's going to win the ultimate grand prize, including grill, generator, and big screen TV. Chevrolet of Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Your home is a reflection of you, whether that's classic, farm style, or something unique. We at Ted's Carpet and Floor understand that, and we'll help you through the selection, finance, and installation process. We have an extensive selection of designer tiles, carpet, laminate, and hardwood. Let us help you choose the perfect granite or quartz to customize your kitchen or bathroom. We offer free in-home measurements, estimates, and design consultations. Ted's Carpet and Floor, your style, our passion.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You will be glad you did.
High School Football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Jon Holder along with Gerhard Mathangani and Coach Michael Short. Time now for our awards to remember East Alabama Top 10. And we had a lot of changes tonight. I'll be honest with you, folks. I didn't think at the beginning of the night we would have the changes that we've had. We've already had teams move into and move out of the top 10. So let's go with number 10. That's going to be the Lincoln Golden Bears tonight. 54-0 winners over Talladega, spoiling Bill Smith's debut. Number 9, a team that did not play, but they'll play next week against Benjamin Russell, who whipped Sylacauga tonight. But right now, I got Clay Central. I took some beatings on the Ashland radio station this week for not having Clay Central in the top 10. So Coach Williams and Coach Herron, if you're watching tonight, I got them in there in the top 10. Redeeming myself. Number 8, Alexandria Valley Cubs. They are open date, but they're going to be a top team. They're up already at number 8. Number 7 in our East Alabama top 10, Cherokee County. Win tonight at Model, Georgia. 20-0 shutout. Very good team for Coach Jacob Kelly. Number 6, Spring Garden. They may have to go higher than that the way they're playing right now with that win last night over Sandrock. Our top 5, number 5, the Jacksonville Golden Eagles. Number 4 in Class 4A, number 5, the Sachs Wildcats. Hey, they were very impressive tonight. They were state semifinalists last year, 41-15 winners over Ohatchee. By the way, talking about Ohatchee, Coach Chris Finley told me they had a lot of injuries tonight. And their backfield got decimated tonight, and they're down to an all 10th grade sophomore backfield at Ohatchee. So pray for those folks. They got a lot of folks with some injuries tonight. Number 3, the Anniston Bulldogs. They might need to go higher as well as we move through this thing with that big win over Wellborn tonight. Number 2 in our East Alabama top 10, the Handley Tigers. Had a tough time with the Valley Rams tonight down at right field, but Handley's they're going to be hanging around the top of this thing, I feel like, throughout most of the season. And number 1, they didn't play tonight. This year, 3A state champion, the Piedmont Bulldogs. Guys, tell me what I got wrong here as we talk about it a little bit.
First of all, Piedmont Bulldogs may have took the night off, but they were fighting tonight playing 5 in a jamboree. So you know they went at it and beat each other up a little bit. Yeah. But do y'all see how blessed we are with the number of good football teams? And just around here in this region.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a blessing to be able to just see the good football that we see around here.
And what I like about it. Correct. And I like the fact that it's not bottled up into 1 or 2 classifications. You have it all spread out. You have a really good Lincoln team, and then also go all the way to Spring Garden, who just dropped down into Class 1A with a fantastic win. You got the Anniston Bulldogs, a talent-rich team, and then you also got an Alexandria Valley Cup team where they have some questions to answer, but we know Todd Gidd, and we respect that he'll be able to coach his team up. And so a lot of good coaches, a lot of good traditions, a lot of good communities, and it's spread out over different classifications.
And we brought up the fact earlier when we talked about the Pinson Valley and all the number of championships that were in that region.
Right.
Look at the number of state championships in this right here.
Yes. Yeah,
over the years. I mean, yes.
Right.
Been there. Yes. Been
there a bunch of times.
Yeah. I mean, how many? Look at the state championships. So that's one heck of a top 10. We're blessed.
We are.
This set we have here. Let's talk about Crawford Office Supply because we changed our set this year, and so Crawford Office Supply, just a tremendous partner here with us here at High School Football Alabama after the game, providing these chairs. And we've been using these chairs tonight, these rolling chairs. That guys, that we've been rolling these things in and out. Guests coming in throughout the night. Crawford Office Supplies, those folks are just off South Quintard Avenue in Anniston, 301 South Layton Avenue. You can go to CrawfordOfficeSupply.com. It's a family-owned business. Their showroom is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. Monday through Thursday, I should say, 8 to 4:30. Fridays, 8 to 3. They have scratch and dent furniture, but also new furniture as well. They also have office supplies, toners, and janitorial things in stock, everything that you need there. You've been seeing our Red Threads highlights. What is Red Threads? Red Threads powered by O-Brand, and they do screen printing, they do custom apparel. They have a storefront on the square in Jacksonville for all your local game day apparel. It's the best place to go for JSU merchandise is Red Threads on the square in Jacksonville. And also we want to thank our folks at Awards to Remember, Highway 144 out in Alexandria. They are just a few months away from celebrating 40 years in the business. They provide our Tough Guy Trophy, our plaque that we're going to give to our Player of the Week from Farmers and Merchants Bank, and our Tough Guy Trophy for our Ted's Team of the Week, which we're going to announce here in just a few moments. They have completely redesigned their website at awardstoremember.com. It is one of the best in the nation. They just invested $100,000 in new screen printing. So go to awardstoremember.com. Visit them at 4017 Alabama Highway 144 out in Ohatchee. Dominique Thomas, before we go to 5A and start talking about the 5A regions as we wind up, if you heard the news, Dominique Thomas, a former All-Star, All-State player for the Ohatchee Indians, a guy who didn't start off at Clemson, but he's at Clemson now playing for Dabo Swinney. We also playing for Coach John Gross up there. We talked about that. He was home tonight. Me talking to him over there on the fence at Saks tonight, and had a good visit with that young man. Lost very close family members in the tornado last year out in Ohatchee, doing very well up at Clemson. Had a big scrimmage for the Tigers, guys. This is a Calhoun County guy doing very well.
One of the just a great story just in general. I had a chance to talk to him a lot playing prep football, and the main question I always got was, why aren't more teams looking at him? Why aren't teams going after this guy? And it was through tragedy where he was able to find a spot on Clemson, and then now he's doing really well there. It is so great to see because he's not only such a really good football player, and he's gotten better, and he's really, really strong. But as you mentioned, he's strong emotionally as well, and he's also strong mentally. We root for a lot of kids around here, but obviously he's done a very, very fantastic job with not only himself as a human being, as a man, but also as a football player.
He had a chance to give up.
Yeah.
He had a chance to quit, especially after the tornado.
Mm-hmm.
And to hear all the coaches and the people at Ohatchee, but you never hear anything negative about him. Never.
Right.
And in today's society with the kids growing up and everything, he had everything against him, and he's fought through it. And to hear Coach Swinney said, I didn't give it to him.
Right.
He earned it. And he earned it through a great spring. And he had a great spring, and he's had a great summer.
Right.
And he's not just going to be on scholarship to be standing over there.
Exactly.
They don't give these out for nothing.
Right.
Because, they get fired over making bad mistakes. But this kid right here is not going to get him fired. He's going to make him, who knows, he may have a chance to win a championship.
That's exactly right.
Let's talk some 5A football now before we announce Team of the Week and get out of here on this first football Friday night of 2022. Let's begin with the scores involving 5A teams in classes 5A Region 4 and 5A Region 6 here in the state of Alabama. We had Jacksonville beating Boaz 27-7. And then Ben Russell. We talked about Ben Russell. They beat Sylacauga tonight 41-7. Sylacauga's one of those teams in class 5A Region 4. Then the Lincoln Golden Bears, very impressive over Talladega, 54-0. Moody tonight, a team to watch in Class 5A Region 6. They beat Pell City 55-21. St. Clair County lost last night to arch rival Asheville 26-21. Southside tonight also fell to another fellow 5A team in a non-region game, Gunnersville 21-7. And Springville losing to Etowah last night, a 4A team, the game that we saw highlights of earlier, as Etowah beat Springville 35-0. So let's take a look at the region now. 5A Region 4. Beauregard won tonight. Elmore County won last night. Tallahassee won last night over Reeltown. Valley lost, but that was to Hanley. Sylacauga lost. And the only team that did not play in that region was Central of Clay County. And this, we take a look at Class 5A Region 6, bringing it north. Alexandria, the only team that did not play, but you see a lot of wins there. Leeds, Lincoln, Moody, Springville lost. We got that reverse there, but they lost. Southside lost. St. Clair County lost. That's a very balanced region, guys, Class 5A Region 6.
Yeah, and the first region we talked about, the one with Clay Central and all those guys, I mean, the first thing you notice when you see that region is it's a 6-team region.
Right.
That means you had to find 5 non-region games, and that's why schools like Tallahassee and Central Clay really had a tough time finding ball games. So Central Clay, Tallahassee, and some of those have one heck of a non-region schedule. I mean, next week Central Clay's got Ben Russell coming to town, and they got a new coach, Smitty Grider's been around the corners too. He's been there a long time, so I'm really interested to see how that game goes for Central Clay, because they are a really, really, really young football team.
Exactly.
But then when you come to the region up here with Alexandria and them, you can't overlook that region.
Yeah. You certainly can't.
Don't overlook Moody.
Yes. Yeah. John warned people earlier, and I think that we'll continue that warning as the season goes along.
There was a release of about 3 weeks ago of the top 25 players in the state of Alabama.
Right.
4 of them. That's 4 out of the 25 were at Moody.
Yeah.
And the starting quarterback and I think wide receiver from Gunnersville also went in to Moody as well. So they got a lot of talent on that team. Time of the night as we wrap things up and get out of here. It is time for our Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week announcement. Who's getting the Anniston Orthopedics score shirts? Folks, it's going to be the Donahoe Falcons. Donahoe down 22-3 on the road tonight against a team that was 2 classes higher. They come back and outscore Weaver 28-6. Jeremy Satcher in his first game as head coach. They win the game tonight, and they get the Anniston Orthopedics score shirts, and they're also going to get our Tough Guy trophy from Awards to Remember, and they are a Ted's Carpet and Floor Team of the Week for week number 1, because there's not a week 0 to me, a week number 1 of the high school football season. We will be coming out to Donahoe High School to award the trophy and the T-shirts for Gerhard Mathangani and Coach Michael Short. Just thank you so much for being with us here on this Football Friday night on High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
The High School Football Alabama Scoreboard is a production of Fairfax Garden Media.